get cut off.
All right. We'll be live. Hello, Durud and Shalom.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Today we have some urgent news breaking out. There is so much happening right now. The city of Ahvaz in Khuzestan province of Iran, so southwest, has been heavily bombarded today, with strikes currently ongoing. It has been hit so hard that evacuation orders have been given to multiple different neighborhoods in that city, and precision strikes have targeted police stations as well as IRGC intelligence bases. CENTCOM has begun acting much more aggressively during this blockade and has already disabled a tanker in the Persian Gulf heading to Harg Island. So we'll discuss the implications of how much more aggressive CENTCOM is being with that. In addition, we have multiple more statements from Ghalibaf preparing the hardliners for potential another round of negotiations, and that we should brace ourselves for these strikes to be expanded in scope, possibly even hitting Pickaxe Mountain in the days to come. Donald Trump has given some additional statements today that we'll go over, as well as a new alliance with the country of Iraq in terms of dealing with the IRGC proxies. Hezbollah is still being pounded and utterly destroyed by the IDF as per usual. Good job to them. And let's get right into it. So, starting off with what's happening right now, we have the city of Ahvaz. This is a large city in the southwest of Iran. I'll add this here. And it is located right here. This city has been bombarded for hours now, but precision strikes are now targeting multiple different IRGC bases. And we can see the aftermath here from this. This is as close as the person was able to get, but apparently they're claiming that multiple different police stations, according to Vahid Online and Shin, have been hit. In addition to that, the IRGC are coming out with propaganda claiming that a children's hospital has been struck. However, upon further research, that children's hospital is located right next to the Ahvaz IRGC base. They usually do this. The Islamic Republic of Iran loves putting innocents in danger needlessly by protecting themselves the same way that Hamas and Hezbollah does, using innocent civilians and building their schools and hospitals right next to military targets. Just when you think they could get despicable, any more despicable, they can always surprise you on that regard. So, Armin, I'm sure you no stranger to that aspect of the Islamic Republic.
Yeah. Also, just remember, no matter what happens, any tragic losses by Iranian civilians is the fault of the Islamic Republic and the Islamic Republic alone. They waged war against the United States for the past 47 years, and United States it was inevitable for the United States to eventually respond. And every war will have some collateral damage, and United States and Israel do more than any other country in the world to reduce collateral damage. And any civilians dying on the Iranian side is the fault of the Islamic Republic.
Absolutely. We also had earlier today, about 11 hours ago, we had explosions in Shiraz as well. So this would be this major city. And currently, as we speak right now, I'm getting reports that there's intense air activity over the city of Isfahan. I don't know if these might be drone sightings or if they're getting spooked. They get spooked very often and they start firing into the air. We've seen that over the past couple of weeks, pretty much all throughout Iran. In fact, 2 days ago, Mashhad up here had a 3.6 magnitude earthquake, and that spooked the anti-air soldiers, and they started firing into the air. I don't know, but maybe terrible training. I'm not really sure, but there's an important piece of news that just happened today. CENTCOM declared today that they have disabled a non-compliant vessel. So this is a Curacao flagged ship that was going to Harg Island. The ship is no longer transiting to Iran. Thank you very much for that update. And here it is, putting a Hellfire missile straight into the engine room of this very large ship. Armin, do you know what's important about this?
What?
This ship is going to Harg Island and it was in the Persian Gulf. That means it got through the blockade, which went into effect yesterday, transited the Strait of Hormuz, probably along the IRGC route, and was getting to Kharg Island, and then it was hit. Usually, what ends up happening, guys, is that the ships out here on the blockade line are hit along this line right here. That means CENTCOM let them go all the way through, and once they saw they were approaching Kharg Island, they hit them. Now, the important part is that if you go to Kharg Island, you dock here to load up on oil, which relieves pressure from the oil wells and the drilling that they do in the refineries and the storage capacity. It looks like the United States is not going to let the Islamic Republic load oil onto tankers anymore. And so it looks like they are back on a timer again for these oil refineries to fill up. That's the significance of it.
Is it possible that that ship was carrying stuff other than
so it was stated to be empty.
Oh. But is it possible that they're carrying stuff to rebuild or arm Kharg Island? Is that possible?
CENTCOM, I think they specifically, yes. So here we go. Look at this. Look at this part. The really beginning. Disabled an unladen oil tanker.
So unladen means without oil, but okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did they say why?
Just non-compliant. It ignored multiple warnings, attempted to violate the U.S. blockade, but then it did. So they let it go through, and then they hit it. I think they want to send a message.
Message?
Possibly. Because here's the thing. Now, if you look at the Persian Gulf, if you look at Kharg Island, usually right around this area right here to the right, there's like 20, 30, 40, 50 ships that line up, and they wait to dock here to load up with oil. I think that's kind of a signal to them to not do it. Maybe they won't even be let out. I mean, of course they won't be let out. There's a blockade. But there's a timer again. You can only load up so much oil here before there's pressure. So hopefully we see them keep on doing that. In addition, we'll get you guys caught up since last night. So after we ended the live till now to, I think, about a couple of hours ago, the Persian Gulf countries have been bombarded yet again. So Bahrain, once again, almost getting wiped off the map, and so did Kuwait. And they're targeting Bubiyan Island in particular, where a lot of the U.S. forces launched their HIMARS missiles from. And apparently even Iraqis could hear the explosions in northern Kuwait. The Persian Gulf Arab countries have largely joined in. And, I think if we combine the strikes that the United States is carrying out, along with the expanding capacity at which they're doing so, plus the Persian Gulf Arab countries joining in, we have an interesting analysis that I'm thinking of. I want to give to you guys. The first priority of these strikes are to allow the United States to provide safe passage for the ships. That's why they're hitting all of these missile launchers even further inland, make sure they can't really target these ships. And one by one, the Islamic Republic is losing missile launchers and drone launch facilities. The second is for an extensive air campaign to be able to launch your planes further into Iran. And the third might be the landing of troops, because they're hitting all the ports as well. So the missile launchers and anti-air defense have been largely degraded, and the strikes are creeping slowly more inland, and they're expanding in scope as well. It's becoming increasingly possible that that limited ground operation is in coordination with the Arab countries, and it's going to take place in the southern coast of Iran. The Persian Gulf Arab countries, except for Saudi Arabia, are all on board with these strikes. Even Qatar is on board now. And some of them have joined in. We've seen Kuwait and Bahrain taking more active roles. We've seen potentially the United Arab Emirates joining in a couple of the strikes a couple of weeks ago. And so in terms of the Arabs, there were two options. One, join the Abraham Accords, or two, destroy the Islamic Republic. And it seems like we're leaning more towards destroying the regime, because being allies with Israel creates discontent within their countries, is their train of thought, and they don't want to deal with that unrest. The loop of a ship gets hit, then the United States strikes, then the Islamic Republic empties its missiles on the Arabs, has apparently had enough of an effect, because even during the 40-day war, a United Arab Emirate nuclear reactor was struck. There's constant threats to their desalination plants. They just got their industrial sector hit last night, a U.S. Kuwaiti-linked industrial port, which was a civilian target. And I think this is really getting to the Persian Gulf Arab countries, but previously they didn't mind. They didn't care. They had it really good. They're sitting in a good spot. But now that their money is in danger, they haven't been able to get as much oil out and sell it, they're beginning to act. So, objectively, whether you're a believer in Trump or not, the result of the MOU in the shipping crisis has trapped and forced the Persian Gulf Arab countries to take an active role against the Islamic Republic. And another thing is, after they join, which is now the game is started, the real stage. Trump negotiating with the regime poses a question to these Persian Gulf Arab countries, which is, if we don't finish off the Islamic Republic, we, as a whole, everyone, is the United States going to make a deal with the regime and leave us with the aftermath? And I think they're asking themselves that question at the moment. What do you think?
Well, what could the Arab countries do? Like, if they want to go aggressive, what are they even capable of? Like, what is it?
So, yeah, that's a great question. Previously, they were getting in the way. Having them not simply get in the way is a huge step. Letting us use their airspace was actually a huge issue, which is kind of actually the reason why the Persian Gulf is in its state right now. It's kind of their own fault. And then even helping in the strikes, giving them some limited information on where to hit, really reduces some of the load on the United States here. So I think that's probably the direction that we're heading. And I think that if I had to guess, in the next couple of weeks, the possibility of infrastructure being hit is probably very high. Is probably very high. And I'd also say that the possibility of shedding another layer of IRGC leadership is also probably very high. The question is, are the Israelis going to be given the green light? Are they going to take out Ghalibaf, or are they going to be given instructions to take out Ghalibaf's opponents? And then after these extensive strikes on Tehran and other cities in the next couple of weeks, in fact, a few weeks, we're going to hit Pickaxe Mountain as well. And then we're going to draw the Islamic Republic remnants back to the negotiating table and force them to give up the nuclear. I think, to me, that's where I'm seeing this heading.
So right now in Washington, D.C., the people are talking in a way as if the taking of Kharg Island is inevitable. Like, it's going to, like, a lot of people are talking about it with a high degree of probability, which is interesting. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but that's how people are talking about it. Within the Islamic Republic, also, people are talking as if the third war is about to happen. There's a, I'm not saying it's going to happen or not, but that's how people are treating it right now. That we are about to escalate significantly. Are you seeing any movements that shows that? A lot of people are talking about fuel tankers. A lot of people are talking about Israelis seem to be behaving in a way that they have already received the green light, and they know that something is about to happen, and they're ready to go in. I don't know if all of this is just for show to scare the crap out of the Islamic Republic so that they come back at the negotiating table, or something serious is about to happen. One thing that is now on the mind, like that is now becoming more and more talked about, is the Pickaxe Mountain, Kukolang Mount. That is something that Washington wasn't talking about after Operation Midnight Hammer in June 2025, because talking about Pickaxe Mountain will basically send a message to the Americans that Operation Midnight Hammer did not destroy the Islamic Republic's enrichment ability. Now that we're talking about it, the Americans are being told that there's a whole other site where enrichment of uranium was happening that went untouched at Operation Midnight Hammer. The fact that that is being put out there wouldn't make sense unless the United States is going to do something significant about it. Because the message before was Midnight Hammer completely destroyed the Islamic Republic's nuclear program. Now Washington is now coming out there and talking about this whole other fourth site that we never touched, and that's actually the main site that we need to destroy. So completely against the narrative so far that Midnight Hammer completely destroyed the Islamic Republic's enrichment ability. So you can't put that on the table unless you're going to do something about it. Because this whole, both Operation Midnight Hammer and Epic Fury was all with the goal of getting the Islamic Republic, stopping the Islamic Republic from getting nuclear weapons. Now that you're showing the Americans, like, by the way, guys, Pickaxe Mountain is here. Like, oh, okay. So then none of this would have worked to achieve the objectives that Washington, that the White House communicated with the American public, unless you do something about this. So why would the Americans now bring that to everyone's attention unless they're going to do something significant about it? Because now President Trump's military operations would be considered a failure unless you do something about Pickaxe Mountain, right?
So to answer your great points there, so the first one is I have seen some things that are moving behind the scenes that do suggest we're going back to a bigger escalation, full-on war here, which is those 40 refueling tankers that they moved from Israel to the Qatar al-Zaidi base are now gone. As of yesterday, they are all now gone. Remember, guys, we thought that they put them there in the first place because they thought it was safe in Qatar. Even though it's closer to the Islamic Republic, it's safer because things are dying down. They're all gone now. They were used in these last week of operations, and I think they're back in Israel at this moment. We actually don't know where they are, but they're not in al-Zaidi space anymore. And this is confirmed via the Copernicus satellite. That's the movement on the ground. Another thing, we also don't know where the USS Boxer is, but we know it's close by. And we know that the strikes are all along the coast, the entirety of the coastline, to degrade any sort of resistance Islamic Republic can do. In terms of Pickaxe Mountain, I think you're completely right. Why would you even mention it if you're not going to do something about it? But also, why even mention it unless the Islamic Republic isn't doing something there that's of actual threat? If it wasn't of threat, it wouldn't matter. It could be any sort of dirty bomb making, enrichment, further enrichment of uranium. And the biggest threat is that we can't reach that site. Can the United States possibly bomb the roads leading to it? Maybe some of the tunnel entrances? Perhaps. But is it going to stop what's happening inside? We can't reach it because there's so much granite in the way. Something serious has to be done about that. And I think this is the build-up to it. Trump's goal from the very beginning, which never changed, was nuclear. And now that they found out under Pickaxe Mountain there's something happening, which has clearly alarmed the Americans, this is where we're going to.
Well, to be clear, the Americans knew about Pickaxe Mountain from the beginning, like 6 years ago. They knew about it, right? But they didn't talk about it, and now they're talking about it. So they're talking about it like, so now that it's out, now that you're telling the public about it, then you must do something about it. And there's only 3 things you could do about it, Ellie. Let me know if I'm missing anything, or do you agree? Either you're going to use tactical nukes, which is very unlikely, close to impossible. Yeah, very unlikely. So that's one of the only ways, because your bunker busters don't go that deep. So either you're going to use the tactical nukes, which you could already cross it off as extremely unlikely. 2, ground invasion, to go in and basically get rid of the site. That is like very unlikely. I mean, I don't know, maybe more likely than the first option. But guys, I'm not exaggerating. I don't see any other way other than the third option. The third option is regime change. Like with Pickaxe Mountain, you cannot use bunker busters. It's too deep in the middle of Iran for you to send a ground army all the way there down that deep inside of Iran. That would require hundreds of thousands of American military troops going in there. pretty sure the American voters will not allow that. So Pickaxe Mountain, the only way you could get rid of that is with regime change. There's no other way. Am I missing something here, guys? Let me know in the chat. Guys, chat, am I missing something? With Pickaxe Mountain, the only solution is regime change.
I think you're close. I think there's a fourth option, but it meshes and melds with option 3, which you just said, regime change.
Oh.
It's that you allow Ghalibaf to be able to give up the uranium.
Somebody's saying you're missing a deal. I mean, if
Yeah,
you
so
the Islamic Republic,
the deal.
okay,
I think that is a fourth option.
Okay, but that's also, if you're the Islamic Republic, if you gave up your enriched uranium, you're gonna collapse from within. Guys, the Islamic Republic couldn't even hold back shooting at ships because of the internal demands for fighting against Americans and getting the revenge for the blood of the supreme leader. So you think, like, given how much pressure the Islamic Republic based on its own base of support for not eliminating Trump and destroying Israel, what do you think is going to happen to the Islamic Republic if they come and sign a deal and say, here you go, Americans, here are our enrichment uranium facilities? Like that deal, guys, signing the MOU has broken the Islamic Republic. Imagine signing a deal that gives up that leverage. In fact, if they do give up that leverage, then they have nothing anymore. That is, signing a deal like that is regime change. Signing a deal like that will eventually, it's not a regime change, will eventually lead to a regime change. It's suicide. It's suicide. So I think regime change and signing a deal like that are basically the same thing.
Yeah, and it's just in different steps. You're right. So here's the thing. We have some Ghalibaf statement that we should talk about. So he just said this today. Ghalibaf, Speaker of Parliament, face of the Islamic Republic. This is what he said, word for word. We must always be ready for war and stand to the last drop of blood for the security of the state and our national interests. We have never sought war, and we do not seek it today, but we must always be prepared for conflict. And then here we go. This is the important part. At the same time, the tools of diplomacy and negotiation must also be used to promote and establish national interests. And it seems like that's a preparatory statement for what's to come. What do you think? This part right here that I'm highlighting.
At the same time, the tools of diplomacy and negotiation must also be used to promote and establish national interests. Yeah, Ghalibaf is still desperately trying to avoid a war happening. His life is on the line. Okay? You want to see somebody who, on the other side of this, in the American side, that is basically trying to de-escalate. So Ghalibaf is trying to de-escalate desperately. Trying to de-escalate.
Yeah.
There are elements of the Islamic Republic who are trying to escalate. Just like Ghalibaf on the Islamic Republic side, J.D. Vance just came out with some statements. He was on Joe Rogan. Look at this part. Let me know what you think about this.
It's not awful. Good. It's not good, right? And so, like, if the Iranian people want to rise up and change their government, that's up to them. But we're not going to send 150,000 ground troops in order to accomplish a change in a regime unless the people on the ground themselves want to accomplish that outcome. Now, we're not going to send the troops in regardless, but like, to propose sending in the troops, you're basically saying that the U.S. military should do the job for the Iranian people. We're not in that business anymore. We're just not.
Yeah, I mean, well, first, nobody asked for that. Like, I don't even know why we're saying that. Nobody is even suggesting that. This is a straw man. This is a straw man. I don't know what the question was here, but what the Americans could do to help themselves at a much lower cost with a much higher return on investment is to support the Iranian people by arming them. Help the Iranian people help themselves, and by extension, help them help you. It would be so much. You don't need boots on the ground at that level. Okay, you don't need boots on the ground. You already have boots on the ground. It's just the problem is that they're unarmed. Just arm them with coordination with Prince Reza Pahlavi and his team, and just you're like, oh, if the Iranian people want to do the regime changes on them, how? They're unarmed. They're unarmed. What are they supposed to do? You share a mutual enemy with them. You share a mutual enemy with them. Just arm them and then watch what happens, because they will know, they know what to do. Coordinate, just contact Princess of Pahlavi and his team, coordinate arming the Iranian people, and just, you already saw what they're capable of unarmed. Imagine what they're capable of if they're armed. You don't need, nobody is asking for American troops on the ground. We're just telling you this is the most cost-efficient way for America to get rid of its number one enemy without American soldiers, without a big investment monetary-wise. Saves American trillions of dollars in taxpayer money for the Americans if we do this. Don't do this for us. Don't do this for the Iranian people. Do this for yourself. We share the same enemy. There's millions of Iranians that are willing to fight your enemy without you being there. Just give them the goddamn weapons.
I don't even think, yeah, this is such a stupid response. It's just such a stupid answer. I guess he's on Joe Rogan. I guess he's trying to appeal to a specific group of the American voter base, but
maybe the question was stupid. I don't know.
I mean, even if you've been asked stupid questions all the time. I've been asked stupid questions all the time. We don't have to give stupid responses back. I don't know what he means by any more as well, but sure. No one asked for you to do that. It's completely unnecessary.
Let's see what he says here.
What the president has done, I think very, very capably, is said, we're going to use military force in this situation when it's connected to something we're trying to achieve. So if you shoot at ships, we're going to shoot at the facilities at which you used to shoot at the ships. But we're not just going to do something open-ended indefinitely. We're not just going to bomb and bomb and bomb. We're going to try to use our military force as one of the many tools that we have to solve the problem. And obviously, like, I'm biased, but I think that's exactly the right approach. What the president has done, I think.
So what do you think about that?
I think he's just trying to appeal to a certain group of people. Sorry guys, but I also feel like he's not exactly 100% trusted by President Donald Trump. I don't think Trump tells him everything. I think there's a little bit of distance between them right now. And I think this is him trying to appeal to the people he's trying to get votes for in the upcoming elections. I'm not really putting much weight on what JD Vance says, to be honest with you. I just don't think he's in the loop completely. Like, if Marco said it, I'd be like, okay, you know. But yeah, him, I'm not so sure. I'm not saying he doesn't know anything. I'm just saying he doesn't know everything. That's all I'm saying. So,
wait,
question, Armin.
Can we go through more clips? Ask a question, but can we go through more, because I'm finding President Trump is having President Trump has a lot of new statements, and JD Vance also. Do you want to go through them?
Should we listen to Donald Trump and see what he said today?
Okay. Here, look at this. And then we'll go back to JD Vance, but I think this one
I think we have the same. We might have the same clip. Here, why don't you show it?
The first appearance outside the White House since the NATO summit. Do you feel safe making appearances like this?
I don't even think about it, because if I do, I wouldn't be very effective. So I don't even think about it. Certainly other people do, and I think they're doing a good job doing that, but I don't even think about it.
There have been threats on your life from Iran. This is the first appearance.
He doesn't even think about it. Well, I think for his safety, he should. I mean, I think President Trump is brave, and I think he's a bit too brave. And I think the bravery of President Trump is a national security risk. because he doesn't really care much about his own security. You know, when he was shot at, the bullet went right by his ear, and the first thing he does, he gets up and says, "Fight, fight, fight," and like facing the direction that the bullets came at him. So obviously, this is a very brave person. But I think other people need to be concerned about the level of bravery here, because he might not take enough precautions. And like, if anything happens to President Trump, this would be like a big deal. Like it would be extremely tragic, not just for the Americans, but for the rest of the world as well. Here's another statement from President Trump. So the question is, the audio is low, saying, "Are you giving Iran a deadline?"
I don't like giving deadlines, but they pretty much know. They know the story. They better behave.
So I don't like giving deadlines, but they know the story. They better behave. I mean, technically, he did give a deadline. He said by next week they're gonna hit. By next week they're gonna hit infrastructure. So he did kind of.
He's given many deadlines. I think he's given many deadlines. I mean, he's right though. I mean, he doesn't like it, sure, but he's given a lot of deadlines. But those are two different statements.
Okay. So actually, you're right. That's not a contradiction, because he gives deadlines, but maybe he just doesn't like giving them. Right. So here's another statement from President Trump.
You came to the conclusion that you couldn't negotiate with the IRGC. Does that mean that you might wipe them out like you did ISIS?
Yeah, it does. We will see what's happening. We received a call just as I was coming here. They want to meet. They always want to meet. But, this should have been done by other presidents for many years, for 47 years, but really a lot longer than that. And it wasn't. And I never understood why, but now I do. Because if you're not going to do it the way I'm doing it, you're never going to make a deal with them. They were very difficult. They're good negotiators. They were tapping everybody along for 47 years. Then Obama came in and he just offered them, a fortune of money. He paid them off. 1.7 billion in green cash and hundreds of billions of dollars. And that really set everyone else back, because they started wanting to make nuclear weapons. And then we hit them just about a year ago, with the B-2 bombers, and that ended that. So we got a little bit lucky. Our timing was a little bit lucky.
Yeah, so Mr. President, Dan Kane, Raising Kane, is your chief of staff.
Right.
He was the one, or Joint's chief of staff, he was the one who wiped out ISIS.
That's right.
Could he be tasked then now to wipe out the IRGC if you can't negotiate with them?
We're going to be in good shape. I mean, they are really, they've been depleted. Their weapons are down 91%. The drone capacity is way down. They still have, but not a lot. Their manufacturing capacity is down. Their rocket launchers and their missile launchers are way down. Their missiles are way down. They're probably depleted by 88, close to 90%. Now, that doesn't mean there's still not danger, and there is. They're nasty people, but they want to make a deal. I can tell you they want to make a deal. And you don't have to be a genius to realize, when you see what's happening to them every night. And now today we gave them a little daytime shot too. So this should have been done, not by me. This should have been done a long time ago, before.
I mean, they want to make a deal, but you can't trust. They only want to make a deal not because they want to abide by the deal. They want to make a deal to buy time so that they could get to a nuke. So that's what needs to be added every time you mention that they want to make a deal. Emily Schrader posted this about JD Vance. Let me know if you guys agree with this in the chat. Emily is saying she posted this clip of him, and she said Vance is a loser in every sense of the word. Vance is a loser in every sense of the word. He fails miserably in talks the Islamic regime as expected, and instead of owning his failure, he claims that Israel pays to activate a smear campaign against them. Really? What the hell? He did that? He says Israel pays a smear campaign against JD Vance? That's a huge accusation.
But I definitely think you have seen this very discreet, extremely well-funded campaign to try to derail the negotiation and try to derail the deal. And, there's this Time article that came out yesterday. A friend sent it to me. It's like worth reading, because it lists a bunch of people who have quite literally been paid by a former Trump campaign person who was himself paid by certain elements within the Israeli government. And those people are attacking me viciously for quite literally trying to accomplish the negotiation objective that the president set for the country. So
what is their position? Like, they're attacking you how?
Oh, it's social media posts. It's, you know, they're leaking to reporters. They're attacking me obsessively, saying that we should not be negotiating with Iran. We should just keep the military campaign going indefinitely. And that is their explicit position. And coming after me, saying that, you know, people have come after me and say that I'm influenced by Qatar, that I'm influenced by foreign governments, that, you know, I take my marching orders from Tucker Carlson, and there's just so much bullshit out there, when what I'm actually trying to do is accomplish what the President of the United States told me to accomplish, which is a settlement of this that accomplishes our objectives.
Honestly, it would be more disgusting if you're not getting paid by Qatar, because if these are your genuine views, that means that you are, I mean, that's actually more of an insult against you than if you were doing it for money.
Iran doesn't have a nuclear weapon. We have the free flow of oil and gas. And like, I should be clear, you know, like, I don't actually mind. I don't mind that the, you know, let's say certain elements of the Israeli government want to criticize the deal or have disagreements about the deal. I don't even mind an effort to try to influence, you know, foreign governments try to influence the United States all the time. You know, Israel does it, other countries do it. It's just sort of the nature of the beast. What bothers me is actually when Americans allow, meaning American leadership, allows that influence to affect their judgment and to affect what they are advocating for. That
it bothers you that United States #1 ally is communicating with American politicians what makes this allyship work. It bothers you that your #1 intelligence source of intelligence in the Middle East gives you information regarding how you could best destroy your mutual enemies. That's what bothers you. Israel has a proven track record at being very effective at killing your enemies without American troops on the ground in the Middle East. So if they're talking to you and they're telling you that we think this is what works, and they're talking to your politicians regarding what works in destroying your enemies, you listen to them because they have proven to know what they're talking about.
That's what really bothers me. People are always going to try to influence the United States of America, whether they're allies of ours or whether they're enemies of ours. But again, when I open up the pages of Time magazine and I see that there's a literal foreign influence campaign being funded to tank the very deal that I was pursuing, and oh, by the way, many of the people who were receiving that money were actually attacking me in completely dishonest ways, you know, my response to that is, well, go to hell. I'm going to do what I have to do for the American people. I represent Americans first.
Fuck off! You don't.
But
You're not America. You're not America first.
Holy moly! Can you believe he just said that?
Yes, exactly. You could go to hell to Israelis, to US. How are you America first? How could you be America first? Be America first when you don't understand that Israel is the main defender of United States interests in the region. How do you not, like, you're not America first? And look at, guys, here's a summary of it. I have shit takes. Israelis have opinions. Their opinions are against my shit takes, and I don't like it. I don't like it. Like, oh, these are foreign, you know, what is it called? Like foreign operations, foreign. Let me see what he called it. Like, this is
affect what they are advocating for. That's what really bothers me. People are always going to try to influence the United States of America, whether they're allies of ours or whether they're enemies of ours. But again, when I open up the pages of Time magazine and I see that there's a literal foreign influence campaign being
foreign influence campaign. So Israelis, because they're a foreign country and they have opinions about your shitty takes, they should keep it to themselves and not talk about it, because it would be a foreign, because obviously anybody from another country giving their opinion would be a foreign influence campaign. How could it not be? Because they're foreigners, and if you talk that would have an influence. So what are they supposed to do? Not criticize you? I see. Are you offended? Are you offended that people have opinions that is against your opinions? Is he complaining about Israelis having opinions that contradicts his opinions? Is that what you're complaining about? What are they supposed to do? Watch a disastrous policy against your own interests and Israeli interests and everyone else's interests, and know that this is a disastrous policy and not comment on it because your feelings. Vance is literally going on Joe Rogan and saying, my feelings are hurt because Israelis don't like my stances. That's what he's complaining about. Wow. Do you guys, does anybody have a
Wait, but there's
butthurt
more.
cream?
There's more to that.
What?
He's saying he's leaving out the part where he made the decisions that led to him being in this situation in the first place and then complaining about it. He put himself here willingly. This was his position. For the Israeli position, the MOU, he put himself here because he wanted and said all this. Now that it's not working out for him, oh, it's foreign influence. I'm doing the best for the American people. Is that gaslighting? Is it? Am I being gaslit?
Yes, you are. You know why? Also, Ali, now that you mention it, here's something else. He started it. He came out and did the most aggressive attack by anybody in the White House in the history of the United States since the Suez Canal against Israel. How is that? How is the vice president of the United States attacking Israel? How is that not a foreign influence campaign? Like, so you get to do foreign influence campaign on Israel and they don't get to say their opinions about your shitty takes? How is that? Like, look at what he's complaining. Like, oh, they're negatively talking about me in Israel. That's foreign influence campaign. You are a big foreign influence campaign in Israeli politics when you come out and openly attack Prime Minister Netanyahu's entire cabinet. How is that? Like, you see, people don't know, oh, Israel is influencing us. We should stop that. You're influencing Israel. You're influencing Israel right before their elections. You're going, and Israeli people are really angry, many of them with Bibi, because you seem to be micromanaging Bibi, and they think like they don't have any sovereignty of them all, on their own. You are hurting Bibi in the October elections that are coming up, and you're calling them out on influencing your politics. How is it that you get to influence their politics and they don't get to even put out an opinion out there about what you're doing, about your stances? They don't even get to respond to your attacks on them. Unbelievable.
I think we know who we're voting for in 2028, ladies and gentlemen. Or at least I do. So we also...
I do. Let me know if you want me to play. I have more JD Vance clips. Should I have only two. I think I have two more or three more. Can I play them before you go to the next updates? Okay. I don't know what these are. Let me see.
So what is going on with Iran where it seems like the president keeps saying that a deal's been reached, negotiations have been successful, and then it all falls apart and we start bombing them again?
Yeah, so how long do we have here? Because this is a long
as much time as you need.
So I have to explain a couple of things in the background so you sort of fully appreciate, people fully appreciate what's going on here. So number one, it's a bit of a simplification, but you have two elements within the Iranian system. You have, and you sometimes hear hawkish Americans say this, that they're all crazy people. They want to bring about, the 12th Imam and the apocalypse and all that stuff.
Please tell me that you're not going to say not all of them are like that. Please, for the love of anything that you consider holy, do not say that's the wrong take. Oh my God.
You have, and you sometimes hear hawkish Americans say this, that they're all crazy people. They want to bring about, the 12th Imam and all that stuff. Right. There are people in Iran who believe that. They're also pragmatists. You've got the crazy people, you've got the pragmatists. Okay. So when we struck this MOU, and really what the MOU says, and
Unbelievable. I have to pause here. Are you fucking kidding me? So you're telling me like the Ghalibaf, Pezeshkian, Arakshi, they don't believe in the 12 Imam end of times narrative, bringing in Islamic dominance narrative? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? This idiot has no understanding of the Islamic Republic politics. He has no idea. What an idiot. How is he in charge of anything?
I think this is what has been influenced. Okay, so guys, up until just a few weeks ago, I think him having this shit take and genuinely being ignorant, he has information available to him, doesn't care. Doesn't care. He's treating the mullahs like they're regular human beings who are capable of rationale. He doesn't understand. And he's been speaking all of this gibberish that he's saying right now, right into President Donald Trump's ears. And I think until recently, he had Donald Trump's ear. I don't think he has it anymore. I think there's a distance between them now. And this is him going on a podcast, trying to fix his image, and in fact, making it worse because he's doubling down. If you're trying to fix something, why are you doubling down on it?
Ali, the pragmatist, Pezeshkian and Ghalibaf, they were in the Supreme National Security Council. Do you guys know what that means? That means that when the order came to massacre the Iranian people in early January, it had Pezeshkian's signature on it. That order, it had Ghalibaf's signature on it. Pezeshkian and Ghalibaf, the so-called moderates, they signed their name on the order to kill tens of thousands of Iranian people in early January. Pezeshkian, the so-called moderate pragmatist, was more radical than the Islamic Republic in the early days of the Islamic Revolution, enforcing hijab laws before the Islamic Republic passed the law that the hijab is mandatory. Ghalibaf, we have audio recording of Ghalibaf bragging about violent suppression of university students when they were uprising. He was bragging about being violent against them. These are your pragmatists. Pezeshkian, which is supposed to be one of the most moderate people in the Islamic Republic, moderate. He was the most in love with Ali Khamenei. He's the most interested in enforcing the Nahj al-Balagha of Imam Ali. He's in love with that book. He's the most interested in having Islamic rule. More than even the so-called radicals. He quotes it every single paragraph in his statements. There's one thing from Nahj al-Balagha in it. These people, guys, the so-called reformers, they're actually more radical. They're more radical. And all of them believe in the end of times narrative, 12 Imam compulsion. That's a requirement to be in the Islamic Republic. They all believe it. And they all believe that the end goal is to have Islamic dominance all over the world. They might disagree regarding the method, but they all believe that. You wouldn't be able to even make it in the low-ranking parts of the Islamic Republic if you don't believe in that. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You're so ignorant about this, JD Vance. Move the fuck away. This is not your field. This is not your area. You have no idea what you're talking about. Or maybe you're pretending not to know what you're talking about. I don't know.
It would be a horrible decision to let someone like that be the president of the United States of America, not because he has this particular stance, which is horrible, but because he has information available to him that is irrefutable. It's evidence. It's a fact. And he's choosing to ignore the facts. As an American, I don't want someone who ignores facts and reasoning to be the president of the United States of America, just personally. Rent here is saying, you guys told me 95% of Iranians don't believe in that end of world stuff. Well, Rent, who do you think the other 95% of them don't? You're right. But 5% of them do. Who do you think the other 5% are?
I didn't say that. I didn't. No, we said 95% of Iranians don't believe in the Islamic Republic. I didn't say that 95%. There are some Shias who are against the Islamic Republic, right? So that 95% includes secularists, atheists, religious people that don't believe in Islam, just believe in religion. Some Shias that do believe in the end of time narratives, but they're against the Islamic Republic. So that 95% is divided among many anti-regime Iranians, and some of them are Shia. But yeah.
Yeah. But just to answer his question, just keep in mind, if you want to simplify it, the 5% are the ones who are the super Durka suppressing everyone else. You're right. We 95% Iranians, they don't want this. They don't want this at all. None of this Islamic Republic stuff. Just so in the same language that he's asking the question, so I can answer it.
Okay, let me just finish this clip and then we go back. And we have a lot of super chats we'll get to later, but let's finish this video.
It was misrepresented more than almost anything that I've ever worked on in public life. What it says is Iran is going to open the Strait of Hormuz.
So he's talking about the MOU now.
Pragmatists. You've got the crazy people, and you've got the pragmatists. Okay. So when we struck this MOU, and really what the MOU says, and it was misrepresented more than almost anything that I've ever worked on in public life. What it says is Iran is going to open the Strait of Hormuz, the violence is going to stop, and then we're going to negotiate to see if we can come to a broader deal on the long-term nuclear issue. That's what we wanted. And what the Iranians wanted, of course, was long-term economic and sanctions relief. Now, here's the problem with where we are right now. And I guess my summary view, Joe, is that I, of course, can't predict the future. I don't know exactly where this is going to go, but I think fundamentally we are on the right trajectory. It's just going to be really messy, and there's going to be a lot of stops and starts. So what happens? The first week after we sign the MOU, we get 20 million barrels a day of oil out of the Strait of Hormuz. That's what it was before the war. The price of oil comes way down, and there are elements, the hardliners in the Iranian system kind of freak out a little bit. They're like, oh, shit. Did we just give away our major leverage point? Screw nuclear weapons. We just gave away the so in this MOU. And so there was this kind of freak out in their system. So they shot at a couple ships. We responded. I think that's entirely.
You know, he sounds like he's justifying the Islamic Republic. Am I?
Absolutely. Oh
he's
my!
Saying like, guys, let's look at that from the perspective of Islamic Republic. They had some point when they like, let's not get to. Let's not be unfair to the Islamic Republic shooting at some ships from their perspective. This is I don't know. I mean, I know it's good to look at things from your enemy's perspective, but you also have to clarify. Like, if it was me as a vice president of the United States, I would try to make sure that I don't sound like I'm justifying what they're doing.
If you're in school and you just sat in the principal's office, right? Because your parents are with you. And the principal's like, yeah, there's some kids who are beating up on your son. And we understand that, but it's just some of them. A lot of the kids are really nice and they want to get along with your son, but some of them are beating him up. Okay, are you going to do anything about those kids who are beating up our son? Or are you just saying that, hey, yeah, there's some of them. Yeah, let's focus on the good kids. The kids who are beating up your son, just forget about them for a second. They're just like that. What?
No, to be fair, it is important to see, like, even from the bully, what their perspective is and why they're doing what they're doing as an explanation, not a justification. But if you are the vice president of the United States, you have to make it very clear to your audience that this is an explanation, not a justification. If your explanation starts sounding even a little bit like a justification, you need to clarify that they shouldn't be doing this, and we're gonna F them up if they do that. Even if this is what they think from their perspective, that is the wrong perspective. That's what you need to clarify that. Right. But anyway, let's continue.
We responded. I think that's entirely appropriate, of course. If they're going to shoot at ships, we are going to shoot at the people who are shooting at the ships, or we're going to destroy the facilities that they're using to shoot at ships. So that happens. Okay. And then the Iranians are like, oh, no, fine. That you're right. We shouldn't have been shooting at ships. So then they come back to the table, and there's a few more days of negotiation.
Well, they're lying. We shouldn't have been shooting at ships. That's just buying time.
Oh my
That's just
God,
buying
yeah.
time. They shoot at ships and we're like, oh, sorry, we shouldn't have done that. Let's go back and talk about it. This is just them buying time. You should know this by now.
And then the
It's
phase that
exactly like you're in the schoolyard. You're the kid. Okay, now it's the next day in school. Your parents are gone. Everything's cool. Go out in the yard. The bully smacks you in the face. Okay, knocks you to the ground, and then you get up and you punch him in the face and knock him to the ground, which is what the U.S. just did, right? They hit him back, and then the bully's like, "No, no, please, please don't hit me anymore. I'm sorry." And you're like, "Okay," and then you turn around and the bully smacks you in the back of the head again. Huh? Is that okay, JD Vance? Are you saying that's what you want to happen?
This is he shouldn't like this makes them look weak, right? Like he shouldn't be out there talking like
ships. So then they come back to the table, and there's a few more days of negotiation. And then the phase that they're in right now is the hardliners have really, really reacted strongly to all the oil that's coming out of the Strait of Hormuz. And they've basically said, we're going to try to shut this thing down. We're scared about losing our leverage. Now, the pragmatists.
So here, look, hardliner pragmatists. JD, have you considered that maybe they're in it together, at least the people within the regime, that they're doing this, that they're playing good cop, bad cop on you? I mean, even if it's not a good cop, bad cop, the fact that they have disagreements, they could use that as leverage against you as a good cop, bad cop strategy. Hey, I'm being pragmatic with you, but look at these hardliners. My hands are tied. You're being played here.
And their system are saying this was a mistake. Let's keep on talking. And again, do I know how this is ultimately going to shake out? Of course I don't. But what we're doing is a delicate diplomatic dance where we're using economic leverage points. We're using carrots and sticks. We're trying to talk to the pragmatists. And then, of course, when they commit acts of violence, we're responding to it. And all those things are happening simultaneously to get us on a better trajectory.
Well, here's an idea. If there are hardliners and pragmatists, as you say it, which there aren't, and you think that the pragmatists are going to give you what you want, how about this? Let Israelis go and destroy all of the so-called hardliners. Why are you stopping the Israelis? Their Israelis are good at taking out targets of the Islamic Republic. Can you please not hold them back? Say, Mr. Pragmatic person, you have some hardliners that are holding you back. Can you give me a list of names? Oh, thank you so much. Israel, here's a list. Go do your thing. There you go. Problem solved. Can you not do that? Easy peasy. I just solved this problem for you. And then we'll see if the so-called pragmatic people will come up with new excuses, or they will bend the knee and surrender to you. Here's a solution. That was easy. See, JD Vance, I'm not even a politician. I just solved your problem. Okay. I think you could go to your update. Yeah, that was the last one. You could go to your updates. But guys, at some point we need to respond. People have some really important questions regarding everything we covered. Do you want to do super chats now? Because
let's just do the super chats.
Yes, because there was a lot of it was about what we just talked about. There you go. For example,
so guys, we'll give the updates right after this, and then we also have some good clips today. So let's read these super chats real quick. Arik San is saying, let's start today with a massive FJD Vance. Guys, everyone can have their own opinion. We're attacking what he's saying. Okay, we're not attacking his character, him as a person. Actually, I kind of was by saying he's not really. He's actually he's pretty ignorant actually. So yeah, maybe I am. But just that part.
Ali just adjusted in real time. Yeah,
I kind of realized.
Guys, this was great. Ali was like, guys, we're not attacking the person. We're just attacking someone. Actually, maybe I am. I am attacking.
Yeah,
that was
so good. Okay. It was just one part. Okay, but thanks, Ariksan. And Yazid is saying, my family in Ahvaz says explosions are rapid. There were several dozens of explosions. As I said, if you go back to the first minute of the video, that was the breaking news of today. That's a lot different than usual. That's actually not the only police station, and there was a checkpoint in Ahvaz targeted as well. So these guys are literally IRGC officers that are being targeted. But also on the other side of the southern coast in Chabahar, we'll cover that too. But more police stations were struck, and it's really interesting to me to see that we're moving on to striking police stations and intelligence gathering basis for the IRGC. So Yeah, Yazid, I hope your family is okay. They got evacuation orders because the intensity of these explosions were super high. However, they're all precision strikes. And there's video proof of that. Like, for example, and they had to be, the IRGC base, one of them in Ahvaz, is literally sharing a wall with a children's hospital. The children's hospital didn't suffer any damage. The IRGC base right next to it, obliterated, on fire. And yes, the children evacuated, they're all out. But yes, Yazid, thank you for that. And Amir the Cricket saying, praying for the Iranian protesters in Iran. Be safe. FFS, please have a plan. Don't repeat January. Javid Shah. The Crown Prince Joseph Pahlavi is not going to give the final call to come out until he sees a big degrading of the repressive forces. Unless a lot of these IRGC defect, the checkpoints, the weapons on the streets, unless a lot of them are gone, I don't believe he's going to give a final call. So there's absolutely a plan this time. Now that we have the data, we know how many people are going to show up and what the Islamic Republic is capable of. We have a plan, 100%. And he's talked about it. Crown Prince, he's talked about it.
I appreciate Amir's care and concern so much. Thank you, Amir.
Yeah, thank you, Amir. And Omid is saying, assuming Trump's goal is to control the Strait of Hormuz, how does this impact the regime change? Depends what you mean by control. If the blockade keeps up and they destroy the Islamic Republic's capability to fire missiles into the Strait of Hormuz, huge impact on regime change because it absolutely starves them of money.
Well, here's what I would say. There is no controlling Strait of Hormuz without regime change. The Strait of Hormuz will never be taken out of the control of the Islamic Republic completely without regime change. Without regime change. If there is no regime change, the threat, the blockade on the Strait of Hormuz, or the threat of it, will now and forever, until the day the Islamic Republic falls, the United States will never have full control over the Strait of Hormuz. Neither would the Islamic Republic. No one will have full control over the Strait of Hormuz. And the Strait of Hormuz will never go to being stable ever again until you get regime change. So the effect on the regime change is that at some point, the whole world is going to realize that if you want the Strait of Hormuz back, you need regime change. That is the effect. So eventually, hopefully, it will make more people double down on getting rid of the Islamic Republic once they try everything else and it fails.
Yep. Thank you, Omid. Redneck Jeep is saying, have you seen anything about the new Qom military group? Do you think more armed resistance groups are forming around Iran, and will they be effective? I did see that video. I can't show it to you guys because there's AKs everywhere, but in Qom, there's a new pro-Iran, I don't know if they said Javi Shah, but they said Payanda Iran military group that they formed. We'll see. It's really hard to say. There's 3 people in that video. They're not going to tell us their capabilities, not going to tell us how many people they have, how many guns they have. It's really hard to say what they're going to do, what they're capable of, who they're going to align with fully. But, you know, we have to see on that. I'm sorry, I can't give you a better answer than that. But yes, I did
guys,
see that.
any armed resistant groups that doesn't say Javid Shah or anything about Pahlavi cannot be trusted. If you see any videos of any armed forces inside Iran, if they don't mention Javid Shah or something Pahlavi related, then we cannot trust them. And even then, we still have to be careful. But just know that.
Thank you, Redneck. So as long as they're pro-Pahlavi, that's great. And Justin is saying, this interview is very telling. This is pure DC swampism. If he wasn't really doing what he's accused of, he wouldn't care. He's gaslighting everyone. Yeah. You know, like, if he's being willfully ignorant, that's a huge issue for any politician. But if he's given instructions to specifically say this, which, I mean, it's a low possibility, but it's a possibility, then okay, I understand. I think he's still worried about his image and is still doing damage to himself. I'm not sure why he would put himself in that position. He didn't have to. Absolutely, he didn't have to.
I think honestly, he's being intelligent for his own goals. You know, you have to understand, like, I think people are usually smarter than we give them credit. They might be ignorant, but they're not that stupid. I think they're just, you know, the explanation for JD Vance's behavior is that he understands that his base of support is a whole bunch of isocucks. Isolationist, anti-Israeli people are a huge base of his support. Non-interventionist, isolationist. So if you want to explain his behavior, it's because of his understanding of who his base of support is. So if you want to blame JD Vance, and which I do, but basically you have to blame the people who support him. He's just trying to appeal to that kind of crowd. That's what that's the main, the best explanation for why he says the things he does. Every time he says something that you don't like, just ask yourself, why is he saying that? And just remember that the main people he's trying to appeal to are a bunch of isolationist, anti-Israeli people.
Yep. Thank you, Justin. And File is saying, on the topic of Vance, keep in mind he also said a few years ago, 2022, I think, he said this: I don't really care what happens to Ukraine one way or another. You know, I think when we get closer to the midterms, guys, we have.
Wow, did he say that?
I mean, maybe let's see. But when we get closer to the midterms, we have a segment of Liberty Politics called Motorpool Grease Monkey, and he's going to be very much focused on the internal workings of U.S. politics. And that's something that you guys should watch if you want to be a little bit more informed on that. Yeah, but hey, I mean, File, if he said that, that's something that I'm like, is he being instructed to say that? And if he is, why would he put himself in that position? Because it's a bad position. Or is he just being willfully ignorant? So, you know.
So this is true. I just checked. It's true. It's true. The quote was delivered by JD Vance on February 19, 2022. God damn. Here's the exact quote. I got to be honest. This is the exact quote by JD Vance. I got to be honest with you. I don't really care what happens to Ukraine one way or another. I don't care about the fact that in my country right now, the leading cause of death. Oh, I do care about the fact that in my community right now, the leading cause of death among 18 to 45-year-olds is Mexican fentanyl that's coming across the southern border. Okay, so this is what isolationists don't understand. First of all, Slava Ukrainian. Okay, let me get that out of the way first. Second of all, the United States gets to afford protecting its own citizens against crime and drugs. All the programs, every single program that you want to invest in to protect your citizens comes from United States being a superpower. And the reason why United States, one of the many reasons why United States is a superpower, is it's the allies of United States. One of the reasons why United States has a giant economy is its trade relationship with the rest of the globe. One of the reasons why United States has a giant economy is the stability that it provides by securing international maritime trade routes by being present everywhere in the world. One of the reasons why United States provides enough safety and security that stabilizes international the global economy worldwide is by supporting its allies like Ukraine. One of the reasons why United States gets to afford protecting people who are being hurt by, I don't know, fentanyl addiction, and the reason why United States gets to afford protecting its borders against drug cartels bringing drugs into its borders is because it has allies like Ukraine and Israel fighting against enemies like Putin and Hamas and Hezbollah and the Islamic Republic. Because here's the thing, JD Vance, here's something that you don't understand. If it wasn't for countries like Ukraine and Israel, then you would have to send your own soldiers there to fight your enemies, and that would be astronomically more expensive. Astronomically more expensive in both dollars and lives of your soldiers. And if you had to spend for all of this yourself instead of relying on your allies, then you wouldn't be able to afford to protect your border in the way that you might be right now. And you wouldn't be able to afford to take care of your citizens against fentanyl addiction. So these things are connected. But again, an isolationist mind will not understand how these things are connected, but they are connected. So here's my response. But anyways, let's go to the next.
Thank you, File. And Push-Ups is saying JD is only tough when talking to Bibi or Zelensky. I mean, there's no problem with being tough. It's more how you're being tough. Like, I want a tough vice president. I don't like when he says that, you know, Bibi is this or Bibi is that, and Israel is this and Israel is that.
Yeah. Oh, you need to be tough. Yeah. I mean, Push-Ups is right. You need to be tough, but not to your allies, to your enemies. These are your allies. You need to go be tough to your enemies. And Kitty is saying, you're pretty far off on disarmament. Kitty, I'm not. I know exactly what I'm talking about. And anybody who doesn't understand this doesn't understand how the economy works.
Yeah, but thank you, Push-Ups, for that super chat. And Justin is saying, I've never liked this DC elitist. As soon as I heard he graduated from Yale, that was all I needed to know about the guy. Ivy League schools are the breeding grounds for these elitists. I mean, that's more of a personal attack there, Justin. I completely respect your opinion on that.
It's okay. Let people do personal. People get angry sometimes. Here's the thing. I have no problem with personal attacks. I only have a problem with personal attacks when they replace an argument if you're intending to make an argument, right? So if you're intending to make an argument, if the personal attack is the entirety of the argument, then that's a ad hominem, and it's a logical fallacy. But if you do a personal attack and make an argument, then you could make a personal attack because your argument was already there. And if you're not even intending to make an argument and you were just wanting to make a personal attack because somebody is frustrating you, I don't see any problem with that. The only time a personal attack is, in my opinion, problematic is if you're trying to make that argument and the whole attack, the personal attack, is the entirety of your argument. That's the only time I think it's wrong.
Yeah. Gotcha. Thank you for the super chat, Justin. And we have Hezi saying, I love the way you defend us, but why don't you trust any other Israeli leader except Netanyahu?
I never said that. I really like Naftali Bennett. I know some Israelis will be upset that I say that. Naftali Bennett is okay. Actually, the main person I like in Israel is Gila Gamliel. Okay, right? So because she's the most in connection with Princess of Pahlavi. But Naftali Bennett, I liked a lot of the things that he says regarding how aggressive he's going to be against the Islamic Republic. I also know that Naftali Bennett is the person that coined the term, coined the idea that to get rid of all of the proxy, all Hamas, Hezbollah, all of these other terrorist groups, you need to go for the head of the octopus. That his understanding is that Israel is going out for the tentacles, but you need to go directly at the source, which is in Tehran. Again, you cannot really judge that much because these might be campaign talk, and you have to judge a politician. Here's the thing, Hezi. A lot of these other politicians sometimes say things that I like, and they might even say things that I like even more than Netanyahu. The issue is that we don't see them. We haven't seen their track record. It sounds good and I like it, but it might be just campaign talk. The reason why it's easier to defend Bibi is because he's been your prime minister since, I don't know, forever, for a very, very long time. So there's a lot that we could judge. These other people, we haven't seen their track record as prime minister. So, I mean, as long as Naftali Bennett, for example, does the things that he says he's going to do, I kind of like him as well. But we don't know. It might just be campaign talk.
Gotcha.
Bibi has a track record.
He does, yeah. And so does the IDF. I like the IDF. Thank you.
Yes,
Hezi.
you know what? Actually, you're right. You know what? The main praise goes to the IDF and Mossad and what is it called? The other intelligence group. So Shabbat. Not Shabbat. I think it's the internal intelligence agency. Let me know if I got that wrong. And Amman, which is the IDF intelligence agency. Right.
think so.
All of them. We appreciate
Um,
all of them. Shabak.
Sabak.
So, Shabak.
Got it.
Shabak. I knew it sounded like Shabbat Shalom, but Shabak. So the Internal Intelligence Agency is Shabak. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Also, Panther, I listened to that song that you made. Thank you. And thank you, Hezi. Roman Cabbage said, "Thanks for Vance rant, Armin. It is appreciated." Yeah, people like the rants.
Thank you. I like the opportunity to do a rant. Thank you, Roman Cabbage.
Thanks, Roman Cabbage. And Justin is saying Vance is running CIA right now. CYA right now. Did you
What
mean to
is
say
CIA?
CIA? We'll get back to that in just a second. And Nail Bunny is saying, but Armin, they wear suits, so they're normal people. Yeah. they
Oh,
don't have a
yes.
turban on their head.
Right. Yes, I forgot that. Ghalibaf wears a suit, so they're just like us.
They're just like us. Yep, absolutely. No difference. No difference.
Okay, people are saying this means is running see you. I don't know. See you. I don't know. I don't know how that's relevant, but thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Justin, and thank you, Nail Bunny. CRW saying Vance going on Joe Rogan to defend his position right before the war is likely to expand. What a shocker. Vance is a joke. Get lost, clueless. So Vance going on. Oh, so yeah. So Vance is going on Joe Rogan to defend himself about the MOU and the talks and all that right before the MOU has clearly failed and we're about to go to a full-scale war where we expand the strikes. Gotcha. That's what you mean.
Yeah, remember President Trump said that if the MOU fails, it's all on JD Vance. So let's all remember that.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't even have to say that because I think everyone would get that anyway. He was the face of it. I mean, he's the one in Islamabad with his face on the pictures. So thank you, CRW, and I largely agree. Fleshy Interloper saying, "What? No super chats? No, we got 6. We're good."
Okay.
But thank you for sending that when you saw that. Thank you very much. Fleshy's a big supporter.
He has your back. Yeah,
he always has my back. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Fleshy. And another guy who's got my back, Noah, the Persian American, saying, "Who brought the popcorn? It's boom boom time." Yeah, it is. We'll give you guys the updates on that too, on both sides, actually, everywhere, kind of. Yeah, I'll give you an update on that soon, Noah. And Nail Bunny, or Miss Claus, who gifted 10 Liberty Politics memberships. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you.
Talking about having your back, Nail Bunny always has my back. Thank you, Nail Bunny.
It's very kind.
Thank you for the gifts.
Thank you, Nail Bunny. And Fleshy Interloper saying, "Cheer up, Ali. The IRGC is being hit." They are. They are. I have sympathy for the regular military conscripts that were killed last night because their commanders apparently told them to stay there, and then the commanders themselves left. They fled. The commanders fled, and they kept the conscripts in there, knowing that the conscripts might be killed, and then they would use that as a piece of propaganda, which they are. I feel bad for the regular people in the South who are just having to deal with power outages, a war upon their heads, the economic hardships, all because of the Islamic Republic. But you're right. We're getting closer. We're getting closer. Thank you, Fleshy. Wants to cheer me up. Firejack is saying, "Pickaxe mountain option. Ukraine has very good success flying drones deep into hallways of Russian bunkers or using special operations. But people keep beating around the bush. No war has ever been won just in the air." So you think, Firejack, that we could potentially have special operations go in there? Yeah. I mean, the Islamic Republic is definitely counting on it. That'd be one of the things that they're going to defend against particularly.
So drones will not be able to do much against Pickaxe Mountain. They will not. This is so deep under the ground. I don't know how a drone would be able to get all the way down there.
I don't doubt that drones can go into those tunnels, but I also see defenses there. You can just put up nets.
How would you go inside the tunnels? Their doors are shut. like they're heavily fortified, and the
Yeah, if
drone
they're
doesn't
shot.
have enough. Yes, and the drones don't have enough payload to even destroy the entrance, let alone destroy something all the way deep down there.
Yeah, it could be any of those.
So
Um,
Firejack, the only options are these four again, which I don't like to even mention number 4, but tactical nukes, which are not even being considered, ground invasion, regime change, a deal. The deal also seems unlikely. I mean, if it happens, it's basically regime change. But the best option for Pickaxe Mountain is regime change. I honestly don't see any other way.
Firejack, what do you think is going to happen? We'll see for his answer. But thank you for that super chat. Super chat. And Elvira has become a YouTube member. Welcome on board. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Welcome.
And Rod is saying, what most Americans don't understand about vice presidents is that they are usually the village idiot. The reason is they serve as a warning to Congress. If you impeach me, they're the next up in line. Oh my God! You know what? I had a crazy thought last night. I was like, hold up. Which right, Rod? I mean, it seems like maybe you're
That's
right. I don't know. But I had an interesting thought, guys. What if, for this third term as a president, Donald Trump runs as a vice president to his own son? His son becomes president, and then his son, once he's president, right there as he's sworn in, resigns, and Donald Trump, as the VP, becomes the president, the acting president. I'm just saying. Okay, anyway. Yeah, Rod, maybe you're right. I don't know. He's had a record, apparently, since 2022 saying things about Ukraine as well, so it's not looking too great about international policy. Thank you, Rod. And Feinstrass with the super chat saying he should be put in a straitjacket and sent back to the asylum. Keep him far away from the White House. Bring in Rubio. Okay, that's definitely in line with Feinstrass's usual chats here. Yeah, it's very strong. Straitjacket. So, okay.
Thank
you,
it's so intense. It's so intense that Ali is like, okay, yeah, this is pretty much on brand with Feinstrass. Yes.
Yeah, that's thank you for that super chat, Feinstrass.
Thank you.
And I feel like if I repeat that one more time, I'll get put on a list. And we have Fleshy Interloper saying Ukraine killed Russia. It was cheap. You're welcome. Yeah, these drones are really being really effective. Quick update on the Russian thing, guys. The U.S. So actually, right before Lindsey Graham died, he came back from Ukraine, and he was about to pass a massive sanction bill against Russia, censoring their oil as a killing blow. Ukraine's already blowing up all their oil refineries. The U.S. was about to slap sanctions on Russian oil, like heavy sanctions on them too. So,
wow.
Yeah. Thank you, Fleshy Interloper. Slava Ukrainian. Feinstrass is saying, and because YouTube won't let me put it in a super chat, F Vance. Gotcha. Some people are feeling some pretty strong things about him. And then, Feinstrass in that chat is like, I'm being kind. Okay. Now, do you ever wonder what it would look like if she wanted to be mad at you? Like, this is her being kind. So, yeah, that's, true Persian woman right there, keeping up the reputation.
Iranian.
And also saying, Iranian woman, I have nothing more to say, but I thought you should have one as well. Wait, what?
She came to she did one super chat on one channel, and then she did it on the other channel because she is very kind. Deep down,
pitied me.
Yes.
She pities me. I don't want your pity super chat.
There's some kindness over there. Thank you.
Thank you for the super chat.
That's very sweet.
And Omid, who's gifted me 2 memberships for my channel. Thank you very much. Appreciate that as well.
Thank you.
Big dog.
So Feinstrass is saying Feinstrass is saying that she is Persian Iranian, but I just don't want to assume, right? Because we
Okay.
have many
Same
different
as me.
Iranians, right? Yes. But also we care more about the Iranian identity than the Persian identity, right? The
Yeah.
Persian,
Oh, yeah.
when it comes to Persian, we celebrate the Persian language and the Persian culture. But when it comes to the identity, we go with the Iranian identity. The Persian identity is not that important to us, right? We just like the Persian language and the Persian culture, but we also like the Kurdish culture, the Bakhtiari culture, the Gileki culture, the Azeri culture, the Baluchi culture, the Kurdish, all of the cultures, right? So yeah. So
Yeah.
identity, Iranian, culture, Persian, and all the other ones, language, Persian.
Gotcha.
Yes.
I absolutely agree. We have another one. Feinstrass said nothing wrong. I nominate her. I don't know for what, but she's nominated. Yeah. What would we nominate her for, though?
I don't know. I love that. I don't know for what. You guys are. Oh my
The
god.
number
that's great.
2 hater. Number 1 hater is in server. Number 2 hater, Feinstrass. And Justin with the super chat, wouldn't it be so great if we brought an old battleship relic like the USS Missouri out of retirement to go park off the coast and just full send her 16 millimeters into Pickaxe Mountain until gone? That wouldn't reach. That's like hundreds and hundreds of kilometers, hundreds and hundreds of miles. I don't think the artillery, the 16 millimeters would reach that. Definitely not. But hey, I wish.
Pickaxe is in the middle of Iran. It's like center. It's like center
Yeah.
Iran.
Strategically located, unfortunately. But hey, in a just world, we would do that. Okay. So, guys, Armin, I think you have to go in 20 minutes, right?
Oh, yes. I have it. But you could continue without me.
Okay, so let me show you some of the things here that I wanted to show you before we go. Guys, we got some good clips here. Good clips. Okay, these are things that we know. We know Armin likes these things. Here we go. Get that guy out of here and get someone who's not very, sorry, this guy's
ماهی $1 پول $1 180,000 تومان واریز کنن اگه ملت ایران 12 ماه این کارو بکنن حدود $1 میلیارد میشوند. به هر آمریکایی به $1 میلیارد میدین برو ترامپ بکش حتما میرن تو اینا بنده پولن. البته هستن که انگیزه های الهی دارن. رهبر
This is a member of parliament of the Islamic Republic of Iran, and he's just said, if everyone in Iran donated $1 a month for an entire year, we'd have $1 million. And then we would just give it to an American, and he would assassinate Trump for us. Americans like money.
We would have. Yeah, wait. We will have how much? Play it again. We will have. If every Iranian gives us $1 for how long?
ماهی $1 پول $1 180,000 تومان واریز کنن اگه ملت ایران 12 ماه این کارو بکنن حدود $1 میلیارد میشوند.
1 billion. Okay. So
billion,
he's saying if every Iranian, so it's like, guys, I have a plan to be able to eliminate President Trump. Every Iranian just give $1 every month for 12 months, for 1 year. Then we will have $1 billion to then put out as a reward for taking out President Trump. YouTube, we're not to condone this. This is bad. We're against terror. We're against assassination. We're just reporting on the news. We will have $1 billion reward, and that would then somebody in America would do the job, because the Americans are slaves to money. So somebody would do it. So that is his plan. Does it go? Is this a full clip where he takes off his hats after and asks for jewelry?
به هر آمریکایی به $1 میلیارد میدین برو ترامپ بکش حتما میرن تو اینا بنده پولن. البته خیلی هستن که انگیزه های الهی دارن. رهبر عزیزمون فرمود آزادگان جهان دنبال انتقامن. اما اگر میخوایم انتقام عملیاتی بشه انشالله این شماره حساب که اعلام شد هر شب هم اینجا میزان بازریزی اعلام میشه. انشالله مشارکت بکنید که ما بتونیم به یه حدی برسیم. البته اگه اجازه بدید امشب این کلا رو در میارم. خواهرها هم اینجا، همین خواهرایی که هر شب حتما پرشور شعار میدن و از روی اعتقاد طلاهاشون امشب بریزن تو این کلا. حاضرید برای انتقام؟
So he said he's saying we're gonna give you a bank account. So we start today. Please, everybody, give us money. Here's a bank account that you can give the money to for the reward for the revenge. But also, let's get started right now. I'm gonna take off my hat. All of the women here, give me your jewelry. Give me your jewelry so we can get started. Are you guys sisters here? Are you willing to give me your jewelry so that we could get revenge from President Trump? And they're saying, they're saying, yes, we will give you our jewelry for reward for President Trump. So, yes, this guy, by the way, this guy's a genius, all right? He's basically figured out how to make a lot of money. Like, oh my God, everybody is like, revenge, revenge, revenge. We need to get revenge for the killing of the supreme leader. I'm going to start a revenge business. He's making a business based on collecting money. Look, he's already, like, he's giving people the bank account. And he's now collecting jewelry from women to basically get revenge for President Trump. This guy is making money. This is a member of parliament. This guy putting out his hand like, give me your jewelry, women, for revenge of President Trump. By the way, Ali, when he said if every Iranian gives $1 every month for 1 month for the next 12 months, you know what he's assuming? He's assuming that all Iranians, like 93 million Iranians, want revenge.
Yep.
Like his calculations would only make sense if every single Iranian wants to actually get revenge from President Trump and wants to assassinate him. That's the assumption he's making here.
That's the type of thought you have in like first grade. Like, wait, if everyone in the world gave me $1, I would be a billionaire.
True. I just need $1 from every person in this country. You know what? This might actually work the opposite. I'm pretty sure if there was a fund from Iranians to put $1 in it and get rid of the Islamic Republic and to assassinate all the heads of the state, they will sell their houses and donate to that fund if they had to. It works the other way around. Oh my God.
So, okay, let's give a quick update before we go to the next clip here. Guys, so the skies over Kuwait are once again intercepting dozens of hostile drones after getting hit by ballistic missiles earlier today. And we also have jet activity over some of the major cities over Iran, probably Air Force, the Islamic Republic Air Force. Donald Trump has posted on Truth Social, and he has posted this. Share this with you guys. Iran has allowed an American citizen who was wrongly detained in Iran in December of 2024 under the presidency of sleepy Joe Biden to leave the country. She is now safely outside of Iran and in good condition. The USA appreciates this gesture of goodwill by Iran.
This is the excuse. This is probably what the Ghalibaf side is doing to not get the infrastructure. So President Trump said, we're going to escalate, we're going to hit everything, we're going to do infrastructure next week. So Ghalibaf had to come up with something that could give to President Trump to convince him to hold back. Right?
That's what he's trying to do. I just don't see how this is in any way or shape equivalent in value. I don't even know why he would post this.
Do you agree that this is a Ghalibaf attempt to he gets onto a phone, like every time the IRGC does something and President Trump comes out and says like, okay, this is it. We're going to F things up. We're going to destroy things, right? And then,
I think I understand.
And then Ghalibaf gets on the phone with President Trump, but like, okay, let me give you something very special so that you don't have to, so that you don't do that, right? How about like, what do I do? What do I do? What can I give? And this is what Ghalibaf came up with. I'm not saying if it will work or not, but I'm just saying this is Ghalibaf's attempt.
No, you're not saying that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying Trump.
just
I'm not saying that Trump is not going to react, but I'm saying this is Ghalibaf's attempt to basically appease President Trump.
Yeah. So this is okay. I understand why he posted this. He posted this even though allowing one American citizen who was wrongly detained, and thankfully, she's out of the country. That's great. But we're talking about the Strait of Hormuz. We're talking about infrastructure, the whole country, and one detained American citizen. It's just not equivalent in value, no matter how you look at it. But I get why he's posting it. He's posting it saying, listen, there are some concessions being made behind the scenes here. We're talking. Interesting. What does that spell? We'll see.
I wonder if this is going to piss off the anti-deal, anti-negotiation people.
Yes, that makes even more sense. Again, I always say this too. This isn't posted for me and you. It's not posted for me and you.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay, so extensive bombardment of the southern coast of Iran has continued. Hasn't stopped yet. I don't know if CENTCOM has probably declared the end of it so far, but Bandar Abbas, Chabahar, Ahvaz, all of these places have been hit within the last hour or two, and they're continuing. Qeshm Island as well, Sirik, the usual parts. At this point, that radio tower in Sirik must be the most indestructible thing in the world, and we'll see soon. So we have another clip here. We've been showing you guys a lot of clips about the economic protests that have been happening in Iran. We have another one. We have another fuel adding to the fire. So we showed you guys clips in the past few days. A ton of people have come out into the streets in planned protests, meaning that the IRGC is aware and allows for them to a large extent, even though they use tear gas against protesters. This is the new type of protest that's going to be shown more and more in the months to come. Okay, so basically the audio is kind of messed up. These are factory workers. They weren't getting their pay and they still continued to work. And now they've been laid off. They've worked for months with no pay and they've finally been laid off and the company can't afford to pay them. And they are furious. Not only them, this is happening all over the country. We're going to see a lot more people added to these protests because, again, we've been saying this. There's usually two sparks. One, someone dies, someone is killed by the IRGC, and that's, it's been an issue, like Neda, like Mahsa Amini, or economic, which sparked back in December. We're seeing a lot of sparks, just like back in December, happening right now. These can all, in the future, make a big fire. So we have that, and then we also have this clip. What do you think about this?
Oh. Wow. Wait, what's the behind job? There's a Javid. What is that behind it? There's a text. Javid Shah. Do you see that below? Okay.
Yep.
What is happening here, guys? There's so many things happening. Vahidi ma dige jang nemikhaim put on top of. Why would you put it on top of there? There's so much other room there. Okay, this is. Oh, wait, not Javid Shaheen. Okay, so never mind. Go back. Javid Shaheen.
I think someone added the heen.
Oh, to make it. Yes. Okay.
Because that was definitely.
But there's so much other room. Why would you put it on a different chant? Well, on a different message? You couldn't find a different place. Okay, so. And you also put it on a parchment instead of writing it on. Anyways, guys, the text says, Vahidi, we don't want war anymore. So basically, somebody in Iran, this seems like somebody that supports the Islamic Republic, but it's against Vahidi. basically the part of the supporters of the Islamic Republic who are tired of war, that are saying this is a pro Ghalibaf message, right? Pro Ghalibaf, anti Vahidi type of message. But what I don't understand is, why was it, instead of painted on the wall, why does it look like it was written on a parchment and then put on top of another chant written graffiti on the wall that said Javid Shah, but somebody changed it to Javid Shaheen instead? This is weird.
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
Yeah.
We have a member of the National Security Commission. Let me put this back. So we have a member of the National Security Commission of the Islamic Consultative Assembly, blah, 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 blah. So many words. Someone up in the Islamic Republic said that we're going to strike the leaders of Israel and America. It's our indisputable right. We're about to shed 2 layers of commanders and officials from America and Israel. Oh, big talk. Where have we heard that before? We've heard that right before they know that their lives are in danger and they're going to get hit. It's pretty much every single time without fail. Now, before you go, I have a fun clip for you about the Saudi ambassador to the Islamic Republic in Iran. Oh, no, they took it out. That was so good. That was
you
so
should screenshot these.
No, it was an X post. Please, come on, we'll find it. Okay, so the Saudi, I think Saudi Arabia realized that it was really bad, and they took it off. But he said a couple of things that he should not have said at all, which painted the Saudi Arabian Islamic Republic relation in a really bad way.
It will probably resurface. Like, obviously, people downloaded it, so we're gonna see it at some point.
Yeah. Let me see if I can actually find it real quick. Can you read a super chat or two while I try to find it? It's really good.
Yes. Let me do the super chats. We got 4 super chats. Oh my god. Wait, is Fizz Ingesis, is he Iranian? How does he know? Is he Iranian?
Is he Iranian? Are you Iranian?
No, because he's swearing like a Iranian. I don't know if he's Iranian. Did you learn this from an Iranian? Okay, I'm not gonna read that, by the way. No, he's not. I'm not gonna read that. Okay, I'm not gonna read that. Why are you making me do this? Okay, people enjoy Iranians enjoy that vulgar swearing to Vance. This is like he's swearing at Vance in Persian. And thank you. Oh my god! Imagine if I translated that to, non-Persian speakers. Oh, me! Thank you so much. No, people are going to be like, you Iranians have the weirdest swear words.
Weirdest insults.
Okay. Oh, me! Thank you so much for the super chat. Ooh. Well, let me read this one and then you show.
Yeah, read that.
Oh, me is saying, imagine donating to the retard who can't even wear his turban correctly. Ooh, which retard?
The guy asking for money.
Oh, he had a hat, but yes, sure, yes. But okay, now speaking of retards not being able to wear their turbans, I have a funny video that we could share as well. But okay, we'll do the other super chats later. You show the clip that you wanted to share, and then we have 3 more.
Okay, here we go. Let me read this to you guys again. Just watch this. So he's talking about an IRGC commander or a group of commanders that he's talking to. He was summoned. Okay, this is the Saudi ambassador to the Islamic Republic, and he was summoned. And he said, the guy, the Iranian, stood up to me, facing me, and started speaking in Persian. And then the other person was translating for us. He said, he's asking you, why did you kill the Iranian pilgrims in Mecca, the religious city? And I told him, tell him that we in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and Mecca, we do not kill the pilgrims of Beit Allah. We welcome them, we help them, and we overcome any difficulties they might face. So the translator, tell him that. And I stood up as the translator was talking. And then suddenly I felt a very strong slap land on my face. A slap? A strong slap. He hit you? A palm strike. Yes, yes. I kept my composure. Then he repeated the question, like, why did you kill the Iranian pilgrims? What was his rank? Who was he? He was from the IRGC, I think the commander at the airport. They're everywhere in Iran. When he slapped you, what did he do? I didn't do anything. I kept my composure. We have instructions not to provoke the person in front of you if they're angry. Don't provoke them further. So I was patient. He repeated the same question, and I gave the same answer. We don't kill the pilgrims. And then the slaps continued.
What?
Almost 3 or 4 more slaps. And you kept your composure? I was very composed, especially with women and children there. That's why you are in the foreign ministry. Like, that's why you're composed. This is one of the traits of a diplomat. Almost. Yes, no doubt. Can you picture that in your guys' head, please?
Wait, what country get foreign minister of where?
Saudi Arabia.
Are you kidding me? What the hell?
Guys, this is what just happened. The Saudi Arabian ambassador was held up at an airport in Iran, and a random IRGC commander or officer was giving him a hard time and saying, why did you guys kill the Iranian pilgrims? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. We don't kill Iranian pilgrims. And the guy slaps the Saudi ambassador in the face. Keep in mind, the ambassador's children and wife are right behind him. And he's just taking it like a good boy. Like, he's just like, okay, we're supposed to not make them more angry. I have no dignity for myself whatsoever. Another 4 slaps come in and slap him in the face. He's like, yep, I kept my composure. Yeah, I definitely wasn't really scared. I just kept my composure because that's our instructions. And that clip has been taken down everywhere because it paints the Saudis in such a weak light, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah, so you just take it basically.
You just took it. And it's a nobody. It's an IRGC officer in the airport. Like, he's just a random IRGC guy. This guy's making him out to be a commander and like a big dog. I'm like, dude, that's just one of the border guards there who's giving you're the Saudi ambassador. You've been slapped in the face.
I mean, to be fair to him, you don't pick fights with the jihadi Durka person. Like, I mean, honestly, like you could try to act tough and alpha for pushing back against somebody who's hitting you, or you could be like, you know what, I'd rather go alive back to my wife and children.
I agree.
So it is. You could act tough, or you could be like, you know what, I'd rather not be tough and stay alive. This is an IRGC idiot. I don't know what he's gonna do if I escalate. I might die. I'd rather not die.
You're right. You're absolutely right. But here's the thing. Why go on national TV in Saudi Arabia and say the truth? Why wouldn't you just paint, why wouldn't you lie about it? You can make the
because maybe it's not because maybe he doesn't care
without making yourself
maybe he doesn't care about his ego. Is good information to have. I don't know if he's being honest though. Like, how do we even know if he's telling us the truth?
Because it makes him look like you know what? Like, why couldn't he just be like, oh yeah, he slapped me, but I talked all big and pushed him back and all this? Like,
it might be a fake story.
Yeah.
But also he might also just want to tell us the nature of these animals. I mean, no insult to animals.
Yeah, what was the clip that you wanted to show, by the way, before you have to go?
Let's do the super chats and then I'll show my clip.
Okay. So we got Justin here saying she was never a part of the MOU to begin with. This should be relevant for Trump as far as continuing regime change.
Regarding the Truth Social post, releasing that person. I mean,
yeah,
to be fair
exactly
to President Trump, he didn't say, to be fair to President Trump, we haven't seen if this is going to change his behavior to the Islamic Republic. But if it does, it would be, it deserves criticism. But so far, there's nothing in that post, a Truth Social post, that says that it's going to change his behavior based on that.
Yeah.
So far, we haven't.
But if I think it's more of just a signal that they're talking and there's some sort of goodwill. I think goodwill is the key word in that post. Thank you, Justin. But I agree. I
Thank
mean,
you.
in terms of objective value, it's not even close. Fleshy Interloper saying, Ghalibaf, we will take Bandar Abbas for a phone call.
Oh yes, you want like basically Flesh Interloper is, I think he's suggesting that you shouldn't even be talking to Ghalibaf unless like there should be a price for even talking to you. Like, why are we even talking to these people, right?
Oh,
But if you want one call, the price of one call is Bandar Abbas. That's the deal.
I'm a huge proponent for that. See, obviously,
You know what? We should put Fleshy Interloper in charge. That's pretty. It's pretty aggressive.
This would be over by now.
Yes.
Obviously, these guys don't understand, and they don't understand anything except for force. The force is the only thing bringing them back to the negotiating table and making them do things like release a detained citizen. Force is the only answer.
Charge a city per minute of phone call. Yes, that's good. Yes.
Thank you, Flesh Interloper, who also said confetti. Oh, thank you very much. Guys, thank you so much. Really appreciate that.
Yay, we got there. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Fleshy. And Nail Bunny said, Persian has the most astoundingly creative insults. Yeah,
True.
They're very graphic.
Oh my god. Yeah, sometimes people are like, hey, Armin, translate these swear words. They're like, you don't want to know.
Yeah.
You
don't wanna
make
know.
me do that.
You guys would laugh about it, but yeah, you don't want to know.
Yeah. But also swearing in Persian, if you know the language, it just hits differently. Like sometimes I feel like if I swear in Persian, it would just, it's just like no amount, like no swearing in English just makes you feel like you express yourself in a way that a Persian swearing does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you, Nilbani. All right, let me bring my clip. Then after that, okay. So, I don't know. This is Laura Loomer posted this, and I haven't watched it yet, but it had 10,000 likes, so I thought it might be good. Let's watch it together.
Let's play with my Legos. First, I build the rocket.
Pathetic.
Now kiss Loomer, my little goat. Ah, you like this, don't you, Laura? Take that, Trump. Kaboom! Direct hit. We're coming for you, Sharmuta. All you guys have left is a cardboard Ayatollah and some Legos. Well, fuck your Ayatollah and fuck your shitty Legos. No! Not my diorama! I must run! It's all crumbling!
Interesting. Wow. I'm speechless.
Okay, people like it in the chat. Love it? Okay.
That's like the counter to the Lego videos that they make.
Yes.
Make more of those.
Yeah. Yeah, Trump was not Lego, but Mushtaba was all Lego. Okay, that was good. You know, these clips are getting better and better. Like we're so close to getting full like Hollywood movies, like made with AI, Hollywood's quality level. And we got another super chat. We want to respond to that.
Yeah. The Underdog said, why would Trump send two complete fools to negotiate with Putin and later the IRGC? Trump's Gulf buddy wouldn't even find Ukraine on a map. Trump has some real bad staff. Greenland next. So here, I will defend Trump on this. I think in addition to fighting the Democrats, in addition to fighting the IRGC and everything around the world, he's also fighting a deep state within the United States of America. And I think his hands are very much tied a lot of the times when it comes to certain decisions. But I think he's setting himself up with the cards that he has played pretty well as a U.S. president.
Also, if you are playing good cop, bad cop with your enemies, sometimes the good cop that you send should be the people who are naive enough to believe your enemies, right?
Yeah. But, I don't think Jared Kushner, I don't think Wickoff, I don't think JD Vance are the people here to make deals or negotiate with people in the Middle East. I think if you sent and truly believed in Marco Rubio and your hands weren't tied behind the scenes, we wouldn't be in this position at the moment. But I understand there's limitations.
No, guys, I know Instagram is like, yeah, Armin 5D chess, good cop, bad cop. I'm not saying if this is what President Trump is doing. I'm just saying that if there is something behind, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I'm just saying if there was, sometimes it is 5D chess, sometimes it's not. Okay, but if it was, this is how it could play out. Like, I'm not being certain about it. So, and also I saw in server that you were saying, like, you're laughing at Ali saying like deep state, LOL. This is because you don't understand that deep state has, the word deep state has its own use case beyond conspiracy theories, right? Like, the conspiracy theories turn this term deep state into something ridiculous, but that doesn't mean that that's not a real thing. Okay, it's not as crazy as what the conspiracy theories make it sound. So it's not like the cartoonish, secret society pulling strings from in dark rooms. If that's what if you think that when it comes to the deep state, well, yeah, that's crazy stuff, right? But the technocrats and the people who don't change, like within a democratic system, you have certain elements of the government that changes from election to election, and then you have certain elements of this government that doesn't change from election to election. That's basically the deep state. It's nothing conspiratorial or crazy.
Yep. And I thought I would remind you about the time, in case you have to go, like a hard deadline.
Yes, but you're gonna continue without me?
Yeah, I'm gonna stay on for a bit. Just gives the further updates.
Okay. All right, guys. Ali will give you more updates on what's happening. I'll see you guys same time tomorrow. And until then, I'm Israel Chai, Slava Ukrainian, Cuba Libre, Long live America, Javid Shah, Payande, Iran. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thank you so much. So, guys, this is not a time to bully me. Please take that back right now. Okay, here's what's happening. So the strikes have actually been quite intense. Even last week when we had the near 200 strikes that happened, they were not as intense as this. Ahvaz is being hit so bad. Again, evacuation orders were given. These evacuation orders, I believe, was largely quite unnecessary. These are precision strikes that are being very specific and hitting police stations, IRGC bases for intelligence, not just in Ahvaz, but also Chabahar. So let's bring up the map here. Guys, so if we go to Chabahar here, which is, by the way, you guys may be wondering, what is Chabahar? Why is it being hit all this time? What's there? What's the big deal? Chabahar is the only oceanic port in Iran. Let's sink in for a moment. So everything else that's in the Persian Gulf, you still have to go throughout the Strait of Hormuz. This is the only one with direct access to the ocean. It also has a direct railway line up into Iran, but also Afghanistan and largely other countries that are landlocked. So the significance of it objectively is pretty high. Let's take a look at what have they been hitting here. We showed you guys this tower, the port tower to coordinate with all the ships. That thing took a beating this week, but it's also taken such a beating that it has turned out to be like this. And I'm going somewhere with this. So like that, and then, all right, yeah, that's pretty much actually unnecessary to show. It's just the same explosion, but you guys can see that they're going after this port in particular. So a lot of the joints and supply lines of the Islamic Republic are being particularly targeted with the infrastructure to come. Trump said yesterday that he's going to strike infrastructure next week, and I actually largely believe him. I don't think he might be bluffing this time unless some sort of huge concession is made last second. This is another police station in Chabahar that's hit. They're hitting police stations. Now, are the IRGC in it? I don't know. Does it really matter at this point if a couple more of them? I don't know. But the significance of it is that a lot of that intelligence in the hubs and their headquarters are being struck. Now, if we go to Ahvaz, we can move all the way over here. It was the same thing. So I showed you guys this earlier, but I'll just show you guys again. We have more of the same. Sorry, this is the wrong link that I put there. Let's just go back here. Oh yeah, I gave you guys the verbal update. So it was right next to the hospital. They evacuated the hospital for the children. None of them were hurt. The IRGC base was destroyed, which is great. Sorry about that, because right before we go live, everything kicks off and I'm scrambling to get everything in order for you guys. And I know to talk about it, I just don't have the correct points half the time. Here was something. We go back to Erbil. This is the US base by the international airport of Erbil. And these are some of the rockets or missiles and drones. So that is a missile by the IRGC. It actually landed right on the American base there. This one was intercepted, but one of them did land on the international airport, which is the base for the United States. We don't know if there's casualties. There could be. That's a possibility. And we've seen them before in Erbil, so that's one of the spots they've been striking. But I would just like to quickly reiterate so you guys get a whole picture. Make sure I didn't miss anything here. Okay, pretty much. So let me reiterate what I said in the beginning of the stream real quick for you guys. You know where we're going. I largely believe that we are going towards a extensive air operation. They might be striking Tehran in the next couple of weeks to come. There might even be a limited ground operation on the southern coast. Israel is going to be given a green light to take out some of the leadership of the IRGC. The Persian Gulf Arab countries are going to join in. And this is all to draw the Islamic Republic back to the negotiating table. But once we're there and we've shed another layer of the IRGC and we've degraded more of their missile capabilities, the Persian Gulf Arab countries have joined in, you have more options available to you. You don't necessarily have to continue with the negotiation path. I'm really waiting for that point to happen. I want to see when we get to that point, is the internal pressure that's building up in the Islamic Republic going to get to a point where Ghalibaf and the people around him aren't able to keep everything together? Because keep in mind, even if his opponents, Ghalibaf's opponents, the IRGC hardliners are taken out, it doesn't necessarily mean that everything's all good and dandy for Ghalibaf. You're going to have a ton of angry people who wanted to eliminate Ghalibaf, who have been being held back because Vahidi and the other IRGC hardliners know if Ghalibaf's taken out, they're all going to die. But what if they're not held back anymore? You know, those are things that we have to see, and which is why for a long time I've been saying once we reach this point, the game is really started and the game is going to pick up, and we have to see what happens after Ali Khamenei's funeral, which ended 6 days ago. This is where the real playing field in the game is. It's where it's going to also end at this stage. The Persian Gulf Arab countries have joined in. I gave you guys my reasoning for that earlier. They don't really have a choice because their money's being hurt. Israel's itching to go. They're absolutely ready. The Islamic Republic can never, ever recover economically or politically from what has happened to them so far. The best case scenario, my personal opinion, they last some more time. They will never be in a position where you think they are a robust government. It's never going to get to that point, because it was never at that point. For 47 years it wasn't. They took our beautiful country and they degraded the currency 98% from 47 years ago. It's truly a tragedy. That's my general gist of what's everything that's about to happen. Strikes are going to happen. It's going to be much more expanded. Infrastructure might be hit. Electricity might be even worse off right now because there's power outages in Iran. That's going to get way, way worse. The mismanagement of these IRGC mullahs are going to get worse. More nuclear negotiations. We can't get to Pickaxe Mountain physically. We have to maybe get some information from them. Maybe Ghalibaf does actually give up the nuclear. If he doesn't, he is of no use to us whatsoever. In terms of bad news, the Islamic Republic is expediting executions. They today executed, let me say his name because he absolutely does deserve this. His name was Mohammad Amini Dehghani. They expedited his process so fast, we don't even have a single picture of him. And they're going to do this more and more because we know they want to do this to scare the people. It is always the people who suffer, and it is due to the warmongering of the IRGC for the past 47 years. In the span of 1 year and a half now, the IRGC has dragged the Iranian people into 3 wars. About to go into another one. And who has borne the brunt of the economic devastation of this? Inflation in the last year and a half, almost 2 years, has almost tripled. The money that you had just a few years ago, you could do so much with it. Now you can't do anything with that money. You tell me, with the clips that I was showing you in the past few days of the protests, the retirees are protesting, people have been getting laid off or protesting, people who are generally sick and tired of the economic situation are protesting, and they've been met with tear gas and batons. We've seen that before. We're going to see the factories lay more people off. We're going to see people get poorer. We're going to see more pressure on them. And you're going to see sparks of revolution again. Right now, after talking to all the people that I possibly could in Iran, I've gotten the impression that people right now do not want to come out. But we've heard that before. We've heard so many things against Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi before. We've heard so many things about, oh, the people will never come out. And they've come out every single time. And I don't think it'll be any different this time, except for the fact that this time we know that I think 15 million, I think maybe 10 to 15 million people came out last time in early January. We know that number now. Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi is aware to give better directions. Everyone knows, however. The IRGC also knows. And they are absolutely on a timer. Don't make any mistake. They do not have all the time in the world. The blockade is back on. They are once again back to starving economically. Every single time they wanted to talk, what was the first thing? What was the first precondition for them to talk? Money. Unfreeze our assets, which now it's apparent that even Qatar didn't unfreeze 3 or 6 or whatever $billion for them. They've gotten nothing. The only thing that they got was the selling of the oil, which apparently, and I trust in Scott Bessent, that money is going to a U.S. interest-bearing account to buy wheat and barley from U.S. farmers. What you are going to hear in the next few weeks as the air campaign and the United States ramps up its military strikes, you're going to hear 2 things from the Islamic Republic. I made a note of it actually here. You're going to hear the Islamic Republic promoting two propaganda points. One, that there's going to be high war casualties. The US is going to have hundreds of casualties if they land their troops on the southern coast. The Iranian people are going to have hundreds of or thousands of casualties. You know, it's not the responsibility of the IRGC if Iranian people die, and we know that's absolutely true. Just today, they actually canceled the high school students' exams because so many people were angry that the Islamic Republic forced high schoolers to move their test centers for the most important tests of their life to the Hosseinias, the mosques, and those government centers. Isn't that interesting? They moved the students right next to IRGC military targets and forced them to have their tests there while America is striking. That's what the IRGC does. Enough people were angry that most all of them got canceled. So these students don't have to be put in harm's way. Imagine being a parent and you have to deal with that stress. Raising your child in a country where you know they have no future. So there's that. The other propaganda point is that the Islamic Republic is going to promote propaganda about territorial integrity. Oh, the Arabs, the Americans, they're going to come in, they're going to take, you know, the islands, they're going to take the southern coast, they're going to march on Tehran and kill us all. These are the two things. So now that we're prepared for what's to come in the weeks ahead, or at least we have a general picture of what's to happen, I think that I'm going to check if I missed anything here in terms of the map. We have a ton of points still left, but I think we'll go over that tomorrow. I think we got a good session in. So some quick updates are more explosions in Bushehr. Bahrain is getting, I want to say pounded. They're having explosions there. They've sounded the siren. People are hopefully safe. Again, the citizens aren't being hit or damaged largely. It's just the now industrial zones, right? So the industrial zones of Kuwait and Bahrain are being hit. The ones linked to US companies are being hit. So that's a significant escalation, which goes back to my point of why the Persian Gulf Arab countries are joining in. They're not joining in because they want the IRGC gone for goodwill. They're joining in because their money's hurting. They got reminded during the 40-day war that when their desalination plants got threatened, when the UAE's nuclear reactor was directly struck, at least, you know, nothing happened, thankfully, that they're reminded, oh my God, if we don't do anything, they really might hit our desalination plants and we're screwed. We get 90% of our drinking water from the Persian Gulf. We have nowhere to go. It's deserts behind us. We've made a killer living by selling oil, developing some tourism. We benefit from Iran being weak, led by this IRGC regime, and we benefit from being neutral, but now you can't be neutral anymore. The US has forced you to take the United States' side in destroying the Islamic Republic, and they've joined in. They've realized this. Even Qatar, as I said earlier, even Qatar. So in this upcoming operation, they're all going to help out in one way or another. The blockade's back on, the IRGC is starving, there's internal pressure, the protests are building. The IRGC have very low morale because their commanders are fleeing, the soldiers are getting hit. It's not really looking good for them. And at the same time, the IRGC comes out and says, we're stronger than before. Trita Parsi comes out and says, we're stronger than before. Explain it to me. How are they stronger than before? Did I miss something? Did something happen that I didn't get? So Steve is saying, how did Qatar join in? I missed that part. Can you explain? Yes. So Reuters reported that Qatar actually gave the green light to the other Persian Gulf Arab countries that they can join in on the strikes and being more active against the Islamic Republic. That was one of the last obstacles because largely we all know what Qatar is capable of. And a lot of the Persian Gulf countries, they have a council, so they like to be on board with things. Saudi Arabia is still trying to play both sides. They're still trying to cozy up to the Islamic Republic. They're not so sure that the Americans are going to finish off the regime. And in case the Islamic Republic stays, Saudi wants to have a good relationship with them. That's why they sent a delegation to the funeral of Khamenei, and they're still talking to them right now. The other countries have wisened up more, and they realize we're not Saudi Arabia. We're not as strong as Saudi Arabia, even though Saudi's not that strong. We're not as strong as them. We're not as influential as them. We're not even as rich as them. We're in a worse off position. If the Islamic Republic stays, they're going to take out their anger on us, like Kuwait and Bahrain and all them, because we agreed to have US bases operate in our countries. So they're joining in. That lowers the cost for the United States, helps them with the military targets somewhat, the intelligence, the financial, don't forget about that, the financial ties that they have. And that's going to be a huge plus. Now, in terms of Pakistan, because they're eventually, you're going to hear something at the request of Pakistan, this or that. You're going to hear that eventually. In terms of Pakistan, there's two ways that this can happen. One, Trump's praise for Field Marshal Munir is legitimate, and Pakistan actually helps when it's come to the time of overthrowing the Islamic Republic. They actually help. Low likelihood, small possibility. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's a possibility nonetheless. Or two, the more likely option, the IRGC finds that Pakistan will host them if they want to run away. The UK, all the way over there, finally, after all this time, finally designates the IRGC as a terrorist organization, which means what? You can't send your family and children to the UK anymore, right? You can send them to Russia, you can send them to China, or you can go to Pakistan, or you can go to Afghanistan. They're running out of options. All in all, if we just take a step back and we zoom out and we see that, yes, the Islamic Republic is hurting severely. And countries, just like the Soviet Union, to the last second, Saddam Hussein, to the last second, seemed like he still had some cards to play. There was something he was holding back. They don't. They don't. If they had the cards, they would have played them by now. They wouldn't have gotten to this situation. They would have played it decades ago. They would have played it 40 years ago. And this has been a thing that's been starting for 20 years, So Syria fell. They were establishing proxies in Syria. Syria fell. It's free now. Jordan, they tried establishing proxies in Jordan. Jordan wisened up. They got Israeli help. They as quickly designated the proxies as terrorist organizations. They went after them. But then they got Hamas, they got Hezbollah, they got Fatimiyyun, PMF in Iraq. But let's look at them one by one. The arms and legs of the Islamic Republic. Hezbollah is literally, their orders are hide in a bunker and try to survive. Houthis just got some weapons. They got some missiles. They're using them on Saudi Arabia, and they're not using them on ships. So maybe they have some left over so that when we get closer to the midterms time, they're going to start using them and close the Bab el-Mandeb, screwing over a lot of the cargo shipping. Let's see what happens there. I think the US is pressuring Saudi to, not pressuring, actually. Mohammed bin Salman, the leader of Saudi Arabia, actually got the green light from the US to carry out strikes against the Houthis. Let's see that continue. The Saudi military is not very effective, let's just say that. But hopefully that continues and they actually get some objectives completed there. PMF, that's the key one right now. The PMF is right along the border of Iran, and they were able to cross in without any problem. We saw the clips of the caravans, the long convoys of Popular Mobilization Front terrorist convoys go into Iran, and they killed the Iranian people. How can we prevent that again? Back then, I was saying Reaper drones, so the US drones can circle up ahead, they find any checkpoints, they empty their payloads and take them out. And that was the best solution at the time, very ineffective. What is effective is that the Iraqi Prime Minister, who was just in the White House yesterday, signed 19 agreements in the White House before leaving to the Pentagon with Pete Hegseth and speaking to the Secretary of War, different generals, different heads of the CIA, and they agreed on something very important to us Iranians. They agreed that the US was going to help them disarm proxies in Iraq, specifically stated IRGC proxies. Pete Hegseth actually posted that on X. So what that means is Kataib Hezbollah, which is an Iraqi proxy, and PMF, the two IRGC proxies, have until September 30th, so 2.5 months from now, before they have to disarm. And we actually told you guys this the night the Iraqi Prime Minister rolled tanks into Baghdad and started arresting all the corrupt politicians. He declared it back then. Since then, the PMF and the other IRGC proxies in Iraq have declared, unsurprisingly, that they're not going to disarm. And if push comes to shove, they're going to commit terrorist operations against the Iraqi government. They said that one day before the Iraqi Prime Minister arrives in Washington, before he talks to Pete Hegseth and secures U.S. coordination and help to get rid of the PMF. The next time the Iranian people come out, the PMF will be a non-issue. They will be dealt with. Hezbollah cannot come. Hamas cannot come. The Houthis cannot come. Fatimiyun has not been touched. Fatimiyun can come. That means you have degraded the terrorist proxies of the Islamic Republic 80%, and they're not as able to murder the Iranian people. Now, your question is what? Your question is, well, what about the IRGC? The IRGC are capable of murdering the Iranian people. You're absolutely correct. The PMF, guys, is the Popular Mobilization Front, Hashd al-Shabi. Same thing, Hashd al-Shabi, PMF. They're the Iraqi IRGC proxy. Okay, so what about the IRGC, Ali? What about the IRGC? They're going to kill the Iranian people. Absolutely, you're absolutely right. But they weren't that willing. We actually saw a lot of them not. That's why they had to bring the terrorist proxies in the first place. That was back then. And things were a lot better for the IRGC back then. A lot better. A lot better. It's much worse for them. A lot of them haven't been being paid for months. The pay that they are getting is much less than before, but they're still showing up because they know there's no alternative to them. A lot of them think that. But more importantly, most of the IRGC thinks that they're going to hold on, that there's going to be some sort of, talks. Maybe this will continue. The Americans are never going to put ground troops in. We're safe. That's what they think. So how do you destroy that? There's several options. So you got the kinetic strikes that actually did a huge number on the IRGC's mental. When Israel started hitting the checkpoints, perfect. I was so happy. I was elated. And then, number 2, the money part. A lot of them were complaining about money. And 3, most importantly, the biggest one by far. You need the Islamic Republic supporters and the IRGC, Basij, etc., to believe that there is no way out. But you need them to believe that later. There is no way out. They are going to get absolutely destroyed. The Islamic Republic is going to fall apart. You're done. And when they believe that, you offer them the solution. Defect to Prince Reza Pahlavi, lay down your weapons, or die. Prince Reza Pahlavi was giving this exact statement multiple times. He repeated it 4 or 5 times back when everything was kicking off. You guys remember that? Everyone remembers that. He's going to say that. He knows how important that is. Because there's three things. There's three key things. The people need to come out on the streets again. They need to be armed, and there needs to be defections. All three of these at the same time, the Iranian people are victorious. We have a free Iran. Or at least we have a transitional government. Prince Pahlavi is about to come in. The IRGC supporters need to believe that there's no way out. There's only one solution, which is why Prince Reza Pahlavi tells them that as long as you don't have the blood of the Iranian people on your hands, you have a place in a new Iran. Imagine if they didn't even have a place in Iran. They would conduct more terrorism operations. They would fight to the last man. They would, turn into a new Hamas, something like that. The people who carried out the murders absolutely need to be, let's just say, persecuted to the fullest extent of the law, if you guys know what I mean. And what I mean is, there will be no law between the fall of the Islamic Republic and the establishment of the transitional government. But when the law is there to the fullest extent, they're mass murderers and they're complicit. Most of the other people who don't have blood on their hands directly, but were giving the orders, maybe complicit supply, whatever like that, we can decide what to do with them later. We need to achieve the objective first and deal with what's to come afterwards. We can't plan out for so much more on that aspect afterwards. We already have, the first time in history, a transitional government in waiting, Prince Reza Pahlavi and Nufti and his team, with a 180-page document plan of what they're planning to do to the country. And I've read it start to finish. I watched the dozens of hours of lectures that Nifty's put out on YouTube, because you guys can watch too. There's presentations about what they're going to do to the economy, how they're going to get rid of the IRGC's institutions, what they're going to replace them with. There's a plan. Absolutely not like Iraq, not like Libya, not like Afghanistan, not like any of these countries. There is a place and time and a plan that's going to happen no matter what. And that's largely what keeps me going. I know it's going to happen. It is only a matter of time. But no matter how much time it takes, I'm still going to be here. That's why I'm here every single day. So, Don B just said that Iran released an American citizen today. Trump said it was a gesture of goodwill, Truth Social. He's going to go back to negotiating. I have a feeling. What do you think? So him posting that means that he is talking to the Islamic Republic right now. And that's no secret. He actually said it in his interview today and last night with Trey Yingst. He said that they called an hour ago. He's talking to them. That post has a significance. It's just meaning that there's a gesture of goodwill we're speaking. In terms of objective value, hey, not hitting the infrastructure or continuing on our operations with that one citizen who was released, I'm sorry, there's just no way they're the same thing in value. It's just a signal. We're going to talk. We're talking right now. And Don, that's what I've been saying. I think we're going to shed another layer of IRGC leadership. I think we're going to bomb them a lot more. And then I think we're going to go straight back to negotiations about the nuclear this time with a faster timeline. And Effie said, great analysis, Ali. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. All right, guys. Please tell me you guys can't hear that. All right, anyway. And with that, guys, I'm going to head out. Thank you so much for joining in and listening to my segment at the end there. Let me know if I should go live more often. And please, if you have any critiques of me in general, I would love to hear them. Oh, wait, hold off. Before we go, where's this that just got explosions? Oh, whoa, okay, hold up. Whoa, okay, let's pull up the map. We have strikes in central Iran. Guys, so this is Tehran, okay? That city right there, that's Tehran. To the east of it, Semnon, which looks to be a town here. This place was hit, so around it. So there's an airport we can see right there. Industrial region, airport. I mean, there's a lot of mountains that could hide some bunkers. Maybe one of those were hit, but we got confirmation from Vahid Online. Okay, so it is the industrial center, guys. So it's right about here, I believe. Maybe let's see if there's another one. It doesn't really matter where exactly it is, but that place just got hit. An industrial zone. So maybe it's drone production facilities, or if it's something like that. So guys, they're saying the industrial zone was hit. So that's Vahid Online. That's straight from the Iranians in the area. Okay, very interesting. I have a feeling we might see some more of that. We do. Okay. Okay, let's just go a little bit more. Parchin, I think, is right. It's closer to Tehran for sure. Somewhere around. Okay, let me type it up. Parchin just got hit. Okay, yeah, it was right there. Just a little bit less. I was right on it. Okay, so Parchin's been hit. Guys, this is a IRGC confirmed military site because it was hit, I think, hundreds of times during the 40-day war that we had in February. Okay, so it looks like we have a new round of strikes, ladies and gentlemen, in the central part of Iran. So Markaz province means central. Pakdasht as well. Okay, I think that's probably just next to Parchin right here. Actually, let's take a look. Pakdasht. Is it somewhere here? Okay, so yeah, it's right there. Okay, guys, these are industrial zones that are outside the capital of Tehran. These were specifically producing, if I remember correctly, they were specifically producing ballistic missile components. So they're probably dual use. So they're probably going towards, drones as well at this point. That's significant. That's very significant. That's why I've been telling you that we went up the coast. Let me just put a couple of points here just to give you guys some perspective. But we've hit. Why am I doing this? I can just add the layers. So we've hit all along this coast, right, guys? But we've also hit more and more inland, like right around here. And so now we're seeing explosions in central Iran, right by the capital. Do you guys want to know why that's significant? Not only are we going after the production of more drones and missiles, but we also just proved that we can go and strike there, not lose anything, and yeah, we're just getting confirmation from Shin as well on that. Okay, sweet. But also, that's right next to Tehran. There's no difference for a fighter jet. That's like it's probably like an hour ride with a car. It's just no different for a fighter jet. So we can hit that as well. That's where the IRGC leadership is. I think we're going to do it unless something extraordinary happens. Ghalibaf gives some sort of weird, insane concession to Donald Trump, which at this point, if I read Donald Trump correctly and see his frustration, it shouldn't be anything less than a concrete, proven concession with evidence. And I don't think it's going to get there. I don't think Ghalibaf has anything like that. I think he's going to hold on for dear life. I think he's not going to be told if he's going to be hit or not. He's going to be not given any promises, but I don't think he'll be hit in the end. I think he'll be left alive. does seem to be the only person right now in the Islamic Republic with the power to pull people together. Let me see what you guys are saying. Omid's saying Santur session when? Oh, did you guys like it? Yeah, I watched it back, but there was like some copyright claim on a song, so I couldn't see the live chat. But I hope you guys like that one. Thank you. I mean, I think maybe soon. Maybe I'll just play Iran as like a theme song for like when Prince Reza Pahlavi gives statements, something like that. Let me know. Let me know what I should play it right before or do it for. Channel is saying, bro, if I were in charge, I'd have 20,000 Ukrainian drones getting Iran every week. I'd have ultra loud motors fly low 24/7 and max sound in IRGC. Yeah, so the problem is the IRGC would do the same thing they did during the 40-day war, and they would just use civilians as shields. They would start wearing women's clothing. They would start literally using women's schools as their bases, and then it becomes 10 times harder to differentiate between the civilians and the IRGC, which is why a surprise strike is very, very beneficial, because they're caught off guard and they're not able to competitively adapt. Yes, only they have no honor. But Channel, what you are absolutely right is that we should be using more drones. The cost is very low. They've started using some. The US has actually started using Lucas drones, which are just the Shahid drones, reverse engineered, cheaper. They're using them now. I would just like to see a lot more of them. I'm not sure how much the US has of those, though. So we got to see. Thank you for the super chat, though. And Ida said, really? Markaz means center in Persian as well? Yeah, Markaz with a A, and same thing, yeah. It's almost like we're two ancient civilizations, the Jews and the Persians, the Iranians. And we've been around for a while, and we have our languages be a little bit similar. But yeah, Ida, I think there's more similarities as well. All right, guys, thank you so much for showing up. In the next couple of hours, I will be reposting on my Twitter if there are explosions in any sort of, crazy location like the center of Tehran. I might even go back here on live to cover that for you guys, whatever you guys want. So let me just get caught up on your guys' chat real quick. So please make sure to follow me on X if you would like updates. I go ahead and repost everything, most of the things that I share with you guys on the stream. Let me put that link in the chat. So if you guys want to kind of check that without having to come to the stream, I totally understand. Please go for it. So I put that in the chat right there. And please make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm growing little by little every day. Started 2 months ago, going pretty strong. And I genuinely consider you guys my friends, so thank you very much. Like, I know all of you guys' names. The chat moves by really fast because I have Armin's chat and my chat and Twitter chat and all of that here. But I really like seeing you guys' messages here. So, and after that, we have our group discussion. So if you guys want to join my group discussion, I don't record it. I don't stream it. You guys can just talk to me, ask anything you want. And that would be in the link of every single video and what am I saying? Sometimes my brain is faster than my mouth. The link in the description of every video to the discussion group. There we go. And I will have alligrams for you guys tomorrow, I promise. We got, oh, Ida. Ida says, yes, there are some words that I know for sure came from Persian to Hebrew. Oh, let me know tomorrow. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate you guys. And let me know if there's anything I could do for the stream that's different. I mean, it's better. I love getting constructive criticism. It's great. I absolutely love it. I thrive on it. You know, some people don't like it. I absolutely love it. So if you guys can leave a comment on the video, whatever made you think that I could do better, please do. And with that, yep, those are the last updates for right now. And I hope you guys have an amazing night. I'm Israel Chai. Oh, so different saying it by myself. I'm Israel Chai. Slava Ukrainia. Cuba Libre. Long live America. Javid Shah. Payende Iran.